Chapter 276, That is too strong. Moon Angel Yuzuna and Qiulin appeared in Heaven and Earth battlefield together. In the Heaven and Earth battlefield, there were a total of 19 ancient cities. In the cities, no one was allowed to fight. If they were found to have fought, they would be executed right away. The 19 cities were correlated to the 9 skies and 10 lands. One world, one city. Apart from the 19 cities, one could fight at any other location. This was why Qiulin hid here and couldn't go out. He didn't dare to return to Cold Moon Sky either, as there would definitely be someone waiting at the teleportation formation. Qiulin had used up all his god source and there was nothing much that he could do. In the inn, Moon Angel sensed the area around. Someone is spying on you. Right, it is that young master Qing Feng. If fighting was allowed here, I would beat him up. Qiulin was annoyed. The person staring did so openly, but as no fighting was allowed here, he appeared in front of Qiulin and told him that he was monitoring him. Infuriating. You want to take revenge? Moon Angel asked. Of course. Qiulin said emotionally. Head out and draw them all over. Moon Angel said calmly. I will die. Qiulin was shocked. Going out now would be asking for death. Moon Angel looked at him and said calmly, with me here, you can't die. Qiulin was hesitant and asked, how strong are you? Moon Angel thought about it and said, very strong. Qiulin frowned. How strong was very strong? He felt like things were bad and he was being conned. Okay then, I will draw them out. I will trust you once. Qiulin compromised and chose to believe in Moon Angel. After all, he had signed the contract and he had no more god source on him, so he could only trust her. Moon Angel said calmly, go now. Solve it soon and let's return to Cold Moon Sky soon. Qiulin looked outside the window. The moon was high above and looked really beautiful like a silver veil. Can we solve it quickly? Doubt rose up in Qiulin's heart. Under the moonlight, outside the ancient city, Qiulin headed out alone. A bunch of people followed behind him. They didn't hide themselves. They were really arrogant. They followed 3 to 5 meters behind, totally disregarding Qiulin. Qiulin was furious. The moment he headed out, the people behind grinned, isn't this our little genius? You hid in the city for so long and didn't dare to come out. Why do you dare now? Qiulin clenched his fists and said coldly, can't you actually try to follow me? They were sticking so close. Were they asking to die? I will just follow you like that. What can you do to me? The people following mocked Qiulin. Qiulin took in a deep breath and continued walking outwards. What genius God King body! Aren't you just a coward? I provoked you so much and you don't dare to attack. You really are disappointing. The people following muttered in disdain. If Qiulin attacked just now, he would have broken the ancient city's rules as he was still within the safety area of the city. In the next second, he stepped out of the area and knew for certain that Qiulin didn't dare to attack him. Hong! Who knew that Qiulin would suddenly move like lightning, crossing a 3 to 5 meter distance right away? God King Pure Land! Qiulin hollered in rage. A layer of blue light appeared and formed a phenomenon which covered him. On the ancient battlefield, the area was covered in broken ruins and corpses. The white cherry blossoms floated down. Under the cherry blossom tree was a lone peak that gave off an old, ancient and majestic aura. Dong! The people who followed were all fixed to the spot and were unable to move. They were totally suppressed by the God King Pure Land. Pa! In the next second, Qiulin punched and his head was shattered like a watermelon that was sliced apart. It was extremely gory. It happened only a second after he had stepped out of the safe zone. Qiulin said coldly, I didn't kill you not because you are strong and not because I have a good temper. The reason is because all of you didn't exit the city. Now that you are out of the city, I will kill you right away. Qiulin said coldly, wiping away the fresh blood on his hands. Pa pa pa! He started clapping. Dozens of people walked over from all around, surrounding Qiulin in the middle. As expected from the God King body. You hadn't broken past human celestial and could kill someone at middle human celestial in one punch. As expected from the talent that young master is interested in. A middle-aged man praised. He was the one who clapped just now. As for his own men being killed by Qiulin, he didn't feel heart-pained and didn't care at all. In Cold Moon Sky, human celestial peak people could be casually abandoned. As long as Qiulin exited the city, everything would be fine. Qiulin focused on the middle-aged butler coldly and mocked, "What a good dog! Did your young master give you enough bones?" The middle-aged butler's face was cold. "There is no use in bickering. No matter what you say, you are just someone with a mouth. In terms of combat, you are just a punching bag. I can kill you easily." Qiulin looked at the people around who were Legend Realm, while this butler was at Legend Realm stage 33. There was no way he could flee. Capture him and trash his limbs. Bring him back to the young master. Take out his God King body and take away his God King Pure Land talent. The middle-aged man waved his hand and said coldly. The dozens of Legend Realm experts walked over slowly with teasing expressions. They wanted to see Qiulin's furious expression. They wanted him to beg and panic. But unfortunately, Qiulin just stood there coldly. "I didn't expect you to be such a calm person even in the face of death." The middle-aged man laughed coldly and mocked. "Actually, my legs are shaking." Qiulin suddenly laughed and said truthfully. "Oh, then why don't you beg? If you beg, then I won't break 4 limbs. I will only break 3. The middle-aged butler laughed viciously and said. "That is because I believe that a beauty will save me," Qiulin said firmly. "Beauty?" The middle-aged butler was stunned as he looked around warily. But there was no one around. "Stop looking. She is above you," Qiulin shouted. "Shua." The middle-aged man raised his head and saw the moon. He also saw a fairy. Like a woman who walked out of Moon Palace, her body was perfect. Her legs were long and she wore tight armor with a veil on her face. Creak. A crescent blade like a silver moon slowly pulled open above her head. The silver moon blade was called Full Moon. Moon Angel held onto the 2 sides of the moon and her body instantly flew down. Kang! With a slash of the blade light, the darkness was slit and a few dozen heads flew up. Qiulin was stunned. He looked at the middle-aged butler and realized that he had panicked. Blood was trickling down his neck and it was slowly expanding. Suddenly, his entire neck fell off. "That is too strong." Qiulin muttered and looked at the perfect beauty, Moon Angel, who held full moon with shock and surprise. Chapter 277, Being Strong Once More. Qiulin looked at Moon Angel's gaze like he was looking at a female dinosaur. He actually had some thoughts, but now that he saw the ground full of corpses, he had no ideas at all. Moon Angel kept full moon, walking elegantly. Isn't it very simple? Qiulin was numb as he nodded his head. This matter just looked so simple. But he couldn't do it. "How amazing are you?" Qiulin asked. Moon Angel thought about it. "I don't know, but anyway, I am stronger than you." Qiulin rolled his eyes. "You are definitely stronger than me now, but that doesn't mean you will be stronger than me in the future. I am someone with the God King body." Moon Angel didn't care. "Now that we've killed them, we can head to Cold Moon Sky and complete Master's mission." Qiulin took in a deep breath. "Someone is camping for me at the world-grade teleportation formation over in Cold Moon Sky." Moon Angel didn't care. "Then, I shall beat them up again." Qiulin raised a thumb and said respectfully, "Amazing." He didn't curse as he didn't want to be rude in front of a girl. Moon Angel walked into the city and headed to the teleportation formation. Qiulin also followed suit. Hong! Together they stepped into Cold Moon Sky. Outside Cold Moon Sky's world-grade teleportation formation, a bunch of people were standing outside. The leader was a cold-looking teen. This person was Cold Moon Sky's young master Qing Feng. His strength had exceeded Legend Realm stage 33 and at 20. This cultivation was quite good. But he was not satisfied. Competition in an emperor aristocratic family was really intense, and for him to have such cultivation at this age, he would have been eliminated long ago. Without an explosion in his cultivation, he would have just disappeared into the masses. This was why he craved for God King body and God King Pure Land talent. This was something that could help him change his destiny. "I have to get the God King body and God King Pure Land, otherwise, I won't be able to compete with those sick monsters. Kids from an emperor aristocratic family won't be average." Young Master Qing Feng thought about it firmly. He guarded here and waited for his men to capture Qiulin. This was because he couldn't head to Heaven and Earth battlefield. The competition in the family was intense and age was one of the conditions. If he entered Heaven and Earth battlefield, 20 years of his lifespan would be deducted. He was only 20 and the next 20 years would be very important. Normal people might not care. After all, if one broke through, then their 20 years of lifespan would be replenished. But to the emperor aristocratic family kids, losing 20 years was the same as being automatically eliminated. The emperor family reputation, resources, fame, techniques, treasures. You wouldn't be fated for them anymore just because you entered heaven and earth battlefield and gave up on the most important 20 years of your life. This was why no matter what, young Master Qing Feng would not enter heaven and earth battlefield. He was waiting here. Qiu Lin, you won't be able to run. Young Master Qing Feng said coldly. Hong. In the next second, the teleportation formation lit up and someone walked out. Qiu Lin. What a coincidence. Young Master Qing Feng opened his eyes wide and looked on in surprise. The person he had hoped would return day and night was finally here. In the next second, he didn't want to hug this person but he wanted to tie him up and dig out everything. Since he was someone he eyed, he wanted to merge with him. You are finally willing to come out. Qing Feng said emotionally, waving his arms and his 20 helpers surrounded Qiu Lin. Qiu Lin walked out of the teleportation formation. Facing such a group, he didn't show any fear at all. If this was in the past, he might have shivered in fear as he was only at the peak of transcendent realm. But now, he raised his chest high and strolled out. He looked at young Master Qing Feng and said loudly, I have a backer now. You want my God King body, so talk to my elder sister first. After the thoughts of chasing the Moon Angel were extinguished, Qiu Lin treated Moon Angel as her elder sister. It didn't matter whether or not Moon Angel agreed. Only he had to agree. Young Master Qing Feng laughed coldly, where is your elder sister? Qiu Lin reached out and behind him. Another person walked out of the teleportation formation. It was a woman who wore a veil and walked out elegantly. The armor on her gave out a metallic sound when she walked and the atmosphere caused his face to become solemn. Moon Angel was really beautiful and all the guys would be filled with desires for her. But compared to the God King body, Moon Angel was nothing. Young Master Qing Feng said coldly, this woman, I am from the Emperor aristocratic family young Master Qing Feng. I have to kill this person, so please don't interfere. As he was terrified of Moon Angel's aura, young Master Qing Feng decided to give Moon Angel some face. I am protecting him, so all of you can't kill him. Moon Angel said coldly. So, you are definitely going to interfere? Young Master Qing Feng asked fiercely. Why talk so much? Your family name can't scare me. If you want his God King body, you have to defeat me first. Moon Angel said coldly. Okay, since you are asking to die, then don't blame me. Today, I shall shatter a flower. Young Master Qing Feng waved his hand coldly and all his men charged forwards. Hong! 20 Legend Realm experts exploded forwards to try to kill the Moon Angel. This strength was huge. In Qiu Lin's eyes, the aura they gave off was enormous. But in Moon Angel's eyes, it was only so-so. She had reached peak power over in the 10 lands and she looked at these people like she was looking at kids. It seems like you aren't respected in the Emperor family. They actually only gave you such helpers, how pitiful. Moon Angel sighed and pitied young Master Qing Feng. Young Master Qing Feng was furious, Moon Angel's words totally provoked him. In truth, only real words would provoke someone. Young Master Qing Feng wasn't doted at all. He was nearly forgotten by the family. This was also the reason why he was so eager to get the body and the talent. Kill her. Young Master Qing Feng's heart was stabbed and he couldn't help but holler in rage. He waved his men on to kill Moon Angel. Explosion. His subordinates charged over. Rumbling energy surged and drowned Moon Angel. Under the moonlight, Moon Angel was covered by the light. Rays of light drowned her and were filled with killing intent. Once the energy exploded and struck her body, they might have been able to injure her. Clang! But she wasn't worried. Her body was as fast lightning, flying into the sky before the energy hit her. Under the moonlight, a cold streak of light exploded. Hidden Moon Blade Technique. Moon Angel's body suddenly disappeared. Her fingertips shook and each slash claimed one life. In less than a second, Moon Angel was in front of young Master Qing Feng. She was 100 meters away and she elegantly walked over. Her jade white hand was covered in fresh blood. Behind her, body after body fell. Young Master Qing Feng's helpers were all dead. She showed her strength once more. It was the same outcome as before. Chapter 278, Killing Young Master Qing Feng. Young Master Qing Feng's eyes were wide open and he looked at Moon Angel like he had seen a ghost. So beautiful but so cruel. It had refreshed his understanding. Who are you? Young Master King Feng's facial muscles twitched and he asked in terror. 1 second. She killed 20 of his helpers in 1 second. Wasn't that just too terrifying? Young Master Qing Feng broke through to Legend Realm Stage 33 but he knew that he couldn't do that. This was why he couldn't beat Moon Angel. I told you that she is my elder sister. Why don't you ask her if she agrees to you digging away my God King body? Qiulin walked over gleefully. Aren't you an orphan? Young Master Qing Feng scolded. When he was dealing with Qiulin, he investigated his background before he attacked. But now, how could Qiulin have such an amazing elder sister? I am an orphan, but does that mean I can't find an organization? Qiulin mocked. You just think that because I am an orphan I am easy to bully, which is why you are surrounding me. But now, you have nowhere to go. Qiulin laughed coldly. Why? Do you still want to kill me? Young Master King Feng's face was filled with shock. How fresh, you want to dig my God King body away and I can't kill you. Qiulin laughed coldly. I am a member of an emperor aristocratic family and you are from Cold Moon Sky, so you should know how terrifying those 3 words are. Young Master Qing Feng emphasized. Emperor aristocratic family is amazing, but haven't you been abandoned? Moon Angel said calmly. Even if I am abandoned, I am their child and of the same blood. If you kill me, you will be insulting the emperor aristocratic family and they will hunt you down. Young Master Qing Feng hollered fiercely. He didn't want to die. No one wanted to die and young Master Qing Feng felt like he could fight for his life. He used the name of the emperor aristocratic family. He really terrified Qiulin. Qiulin, who was rolling around at rock bottom in Cold Moon Sky, naturally knew about the emperor aristocratic family's name. They could even compare to top sects. In the entire 9 skies, emperor aristocratic families were all extremely famous. No one would easily offend someone from an emperor aristocratic family. Qiulin couldn't help but look towards Moon Angel. What could they do now? Moon Angel's face was calm and expressionless as she asked, are emperor aristocratic families so amazing? Her home, Moon Palace Qin family, was also an emperor aristocratic family. Moon Angel didn't bother and also escaped and even changed her name to Yuzuna. Now that a small emperor aristocratic family abandoned kid was threatening her, would she care? My Qing family has been passed down for 80,000 years and 2 emperors have come from our family. The faction behind you wouldn't dare to easily offend us, right? Young Master Qing Feng started to panic. It seemed like the term emperor aristocratic family couldn't threaten this woman. The faction behind me, Moon Angel suddenly laughed, but even with the veil, young Master King Feng's eyes lit up. It was as if a moon had popped out from the clouds, lighting up the night sky. But in the next second, Moon Angel's words caused his heart to sink. If my master is here he would definitely say that emperor aristocratic families aren't a worry and he will just kill you without hesitation. Moon Angel smiled and felt really proud. Her strength and confidence came from Li Xiandao. Even if Li Xiandao was still trapped in the 10 lands, Moon Angel believed that once master arrived here, he would sweep everyone. Emperor aristocratic families weren't a problem at all. Who is your master? Young Master Qing Feng asked in terror. He retreated and was prepared to rub oil on his feet. Moon Angel didn't seem afraid of his threats. My master, Moon Angel thought about it and Li Xiandao's tall body appeared before her beautiful eyes. It was as if he wouldn't bend even if the sky collapsed. She smiled. My master is the best master in the world. You are about to be a dead man and aren't worthy of knowing his name. The moment Moon Angel said this, she stepped forwards. Hong! A fierce aura surged forwards like flames and terrified young Master Qing Feng. He swiftly retreated and used his movement techniques to flee. Crazy woman, fierce woman, damn woman. Young Master Qing Feng fled and cursed deep down. Emperor aristocratic family couldn't scare her at all and she wanted to kill him just like that. She was such a lunatic. Moon Angel looked on coldly, you won't be able to run. Her legs touched the ground and left no marks at all. Moon Angel's body flashed in the sky and disappeared. In the next second, she was right behind young Master Qing Feng. She used her fingers as a sword along with blade techniques. Moon Angel used the same move. Hidden Moon Blade Technique. This strike silently appeared behind young Master King Feng's back. Young Master Qing Feng just felt a terrifying feeling cover him. He opened his eyes in terror and he knew that he couldn't flee anymore. As an emperor aristocratic family member, his cultivation wasn't that high, but he had a good ability to judge situations. Void Heaven Strike. Young Master Qing Feng stopped fleeing since he would die either way. He turned around, using true qi to form a grotto heaven to strike her. This was young Master Qing Feng's life grotto heaven. It was extremely strong. He had just condensed it, and once he used it, its strength couldn't be underestimated. The realm after Legend Realm Stage 33 was the 9 Grotto Heaven realm. To condense 9 Grotto Heavens inside or outside the body to use power several folds more terrifying. This was Grotto Heaven realm. Explosion. Young Master Qing Feng's first Grotto Heaven was used to try to catch her off guard, to kill her in an instant. But he forgot that Moon Angel also exceeded Legend Realm Stage 33. She had even reached the limit of the 10 lands. With a streak of cold moonlight, she thrust her fingers forward like light that stabbed through the sky. The Grotto Heaven was no match at all. Hong! The hugely powerful Grotto Heaven was shattered by Moon Angel. The large portions of energy struck the area around, smacking young Master Qing Feng into the air and spitting out mouthfuls of blood. His body was trembling. His veins and bones were all broken. Moon Angel felt the Grotto Heaven and said, "Is this the realm after Legend Realm? It doesn't seem like much. I can also condense one." Moon Angel muttered. With the huge power of hers now, she could jump and condense many Grotto Heavens. But before this, she should have just killed this noisy young Master Qing Feng. Moon Angel casually waved her hand and a wave of enormous energy exploded forth. "Lunatic, if you dare to kill me, the Emperor aristocratic family won't let you off." Young Master Qing Feng shouted in despair. Hong! Energy struck his body and young Master Qing Feng was killed instantly. "So much nonsense, just die," Moon Angel said in disdain. Chapter 279, Buying Ingredients. Moon Angel didn't care that young Master Qing Feng was being killed. How could the abandoned child of an emperor aristocratic family make Moon Angel not kill him? A threat to the emperor aristocratic family? Moon Angel didn't care at all and was filled in disdain. She had offended Moon Angel Qin family already, so how would she be afraid of one emperor aristocratic family? Amazing, elder sister is so amazing. Qiulin walked over and gave her the thumbs up. Young Master Qing Feng was really and had reached Grotto Heaven realm, but she was still slain by Moon Angel with one sword. That meant that Moon Angel was even more amazing. "I have solved your problems, so you should help Master build the world-grade teleportation formation next," Moon Angel said. Qiulin patted his chest and ensured, "I will do my best." Now that young Master Qing Feng has been killed, his emperor aristocratic family will react. After all, he is a direct family member, so should we hide? Moon Angel shook her head and asked, "Why should we? Although killing young Master Qing Feng feels good, we still need to be wary of them. After all, they do have so many experts." Qiulin said. "As long as we build the teleportation formation and let Master cross worlds, the emperor aristocratic family is not a problem at all," Moon Angel said firmly. She believed Li Xiandao unconditionally. "Sure, since sister says that, then we shall purchase materials. We have the blueprints, but crafting a teleportation formation in the 9 skies is much more complicated than crafting it in the 10 lands. Let's head to the cellars now," Qiulin said. He tossed the emperor aristocratic family to the back of his head and was only thinking about building the world-grade teleportation formation. Moon Angel nodded, "Bring me there quickly." Qiulin looked around and confirmed a direction, 5,000 miles away, there is a market. People within 100,000 miles will buy and sell goods. Let's head over. The sky just got bright and the new goods should be just on display. Okay, let's go then. Moon Angel nodded her head. She rushed into the distance along with Qiulin. 15 minutes after they left, a person silently landed from the sky. He looked at the dead young Master Qing Feng with an ugly expression. "Trash is just trash. It was right that the family abandoned you. It would have been better if you just lived your life peacefully and got some children to extend the bloodline. Now that you've died like this, you are wasting pure blood," that person said in disdain. He looked around and looked at those helpers who died the same way as young Master Qing Feng. He muttered, "It was done by a woman. Her techniques are sharp and she is using a blade. It seems like someone who uses a long blade. Damn! There have only ever been a few of us in the Emperor family bloodline. Each orthodox bloodline has always been precious. Even if he is trash, he can help to reproduce. Being killed like this means that he is of no value at all," that person said coldly. It seemed like Chu Lin found a helper and this woman killed young Master Qing Feng. We need an explanation. Killing Chu Lin, digging away his God King body and killing this woman should be a decent explanation to the family. This person sighed. He was the bloodline protector of the family. As long as one was of the orthodox bloodline, one would have a bloodline protector for 100 years. 100 years later he would see whether or not there were descendants with proper bloodlines. If there were, then he would continue protecting. If not, then there was no need to protect as there wouldn't be any more orthodox bloodline members in the future. This was also the reason why the emperor aristocratic family bloodline was rare and why they cherished each person. Now that young Master Qing Feng was killed before having a single child, it meant that one orthodox bloodline had been wasted just like that. This was something they found hard to accept. Even if he was trash, the emperor aristocratic family was willing to raise him for his whole life for the superiority of his bloodline. His birth gave him nobility. This was why this bloodline protector looked around and instantly sent out a message. Searching for Chu Lin and a strong blade-using woman. He believed that with the strong powers of their emperor aristocratic family, they would get news soon. The sky turned bright slowly, Moon Angel and Chu Lin came to this huge market. The market was filled with human noises, filled with horses and carriages. This huge market was a convenient spot and people entered and left selling all sorts of things. Medicinal ingredients, metal, pills, magical artifacts, talismans, formations. Moon Angel and Chu Lin came to look for formation materials. Moon Angel entered the market and attracted a lot of attention. Everyone stared at this cold, mature beauty. Moon Angel was such a beauty and would naturally attract attention. She was used to it and just focused on selecting the materials she wanted. Chu Lin memorized the requirements of the world-grade teleportation formation. The basic things could all be bought here. He ran here and there and bargained for the suitable materials. After he got it at a decent price, he informed Moon to pay the god source. Moon Angel didn't say a word, paying the god source, and keeping the items. Many basic things could be bought here. Moon Angel was satisfied with Chu Lin's speed and bought many things in just a short moment. Moreover, his speed continued to increase. Moon Angel followed to monitor the quality and bought it if it was good enough. One bought and one paid. Everyone could tell that Moon Angel was the person who was in charge. Moreover, when Moon Angel paid the god source, she didn't hesitate, which showed that she was a rich woman. Rich woman. Young. Beautiful. A mature lady. All these things added together tempted people to want to charge over and beg Moon Angel to be their sugar mummy. Because of her cold expression, she made it tough for people to get close to her. Many of them wanted to but didn't have the courage. But some aristocratic family children or sect disciples started to flirt. Hi, what would you like to buy? I am familiar with this market. An aristocratic family child smiled and came over to flirt. There is no need. I am enough for elder sister. Chu Lin stopped him and rejected right away. Brother, this is not right. I just want to make friends. The aristocratic family child's expression was one of unhappiness. Climb. Chu Lin didn't show courtesy at all. Do you think I don't know what you are thinking? Chu Lin said in disdain, we are all guys, stop acting so polite. My sister is not someone who you can get. Stop asking to be insulted. You, the guy stared at Chu Lin in rage and felt a little humiliated. When he saw that Chu Lin was not even past human celestial, he was furious. Brother, if you want to protect her, it will depend on whether or not you have the skill. The guy smiled. Scram. Moon Angel realized that more and more people were crowding around. She shouted coldly. Hong. One word was like a strong fist that smacked into the guy. The guy flew a few 100 meters back and smashed into the floor before fainting. You just flirted with me, so I won't injure you too badly. Go spend some time recovering for a few weeks. Moon Angel laughed coldly. The area around was totally silent. Those people who wanted to be sugar babies suddenly felt that there was no need to. Chapter 280, World Coordinates. After the guy was struck away by Moon Angel, fewer people surrounded her. Everyone was familiar with this aristocratic family child. This human celestial realm disciple was famous in this region. Now that he fainted just like this, everyone knew that Moon Angel was not good to offend. Since she was not good to offend, then they wouldn't offend her. Everyone decided not to look at her. The market returned to normal. Moon Angel said to Chu Lin, continue to buy the items. Qiulin continued to select materials. He could purchase the basic materials here for a cheap price. Of course, the sellers also saw how strong she was and didn't dare to ask for too much. Qiulin saw through this and started to bargain more, getting better prices. After a day, Qiulin chose a few hundred sets of materials, completing all the basic materials that he needed. This really satisfied Moon Angel. If she was the one who did it, it would take several days for her to do so. It would also be much more expensive. At night, in the nearby inn, Moon Angel and Qiulin were looking at the world-grade teleportation formation and they ensured that the basic ingredients were ready. They were lacking two things. Star map. World coordinates. Just like the ones they had gotten in the 10 lands. In Cold Moon Sky, they had to get these two things too. The only difference was that Moon Angel brought the world-breaking blade herself. The world coordinates are easy to settle. It is rare but many people have it. Qiulin said. Do you know where can we find it? Moon Angel looked at the world-grade teleportation formation and asked. I know someone who has it but he won't give it to us. Qiulin nodded. Why not? Moon Angel asked. She would be willing to buy it with large amounts of God source. Because you killed young Master Qing Feng, do you think people from Qing family will hand the world coordinates to you? Qiulin was a little helpless. In the hands of Qing family. Moon Angel frowned. More accurately, it is in the hands of young Master King Feng's brother. He is not as weak as young Master Qing Feng and is one of the 10 tigers of Qing family. Although he is at the tail end, he is not easy to offend. Qiulin understood such information like the back of his palm. When young Master Qing Feng was hunting him down, he investigated Qing family and obtained a lot of information. Where is this person? Moon Angel asked. You are going to find him. Qiulin was shocked. I have to get the world coordinates to draw Master over. I promised Master that I would build the teleportation formation. Moon Angel said firmly. We don't have to come into contact with Emperor aristocratic family people. This person is one of the 10 tigers and isn't as weak as young Master Qing Feng. Qiulin was worried and gave a suggestion. What thoughts do you have? Moon Angel looked at Qiulin and asked. An auction with the various sellers in the markets. Qiulin said. How much time do we need? Moon Angel asked the crucial problem. Qiulin was silent. He couldn't give an accurate time. In truth, he himself didn't know how long it would take. They could get the world coordinates like that, but as for the time? Time was a problem. They might get it within a year. Within 10. Within 100. But Moon Angel couldn't wait and neither could Xiandao. So, Moon Angel decided to find one of Qing family's 10 tigers to get the world coordinates. Then, you go get the world coordinates. Pass me some God source and I shall buy the star guidance map for you. Qiulin thought about it and chose to split up. Moon Angel would deal with one of the Qing family tigers and Qiulin was a burden. He would drag down Moon Angel and make it hard for her to focus. Why not head to purchase the star guidance map? You can buy that. Moon Angel asked in surprise. This was good news. Any problem that could be solved with God source wasn't a problem at all. When she left the Bank of the Universe, Seven gave Moon Angel huge amounts of God source. One could say that half of the amount that the Bank of the Universe earned was given to Moon Angel. Not to mention a few dozen God Spirit Meridians. All of them were given to Moon Angel. Now, Moon Angel was really rich and this sum was a decent fortune in Cold Moon Sky. Of course, you can buy it. I know a place called Heaven Workshop. It focuses on selling these treasures. They could draw star guidance maps long ago, and now, they can even mass-produce it. Qiulin said. If he found this Heaven Workshop, then he could purchase the star guidance map. Moon Angel nodded her head in satisfaction. Good, I will give you 1,000,000 God source to buy it. Then, come and find me right away. I will return here after acquiring the world coordinates and we shall meet here. Qiulin nodded his head. No problem. Right, let me teach you a space crossing seal. Try your best to grasp it and when you face danger, use it to flee. Protect yourself and wait for me to return. Moon Angel said. Okay. Qiulin's eyes lit up. This was a good way to protect himself. Moon Angel immediately taught Qiulin about the complicated 6-star seal. Grasp it. The spiritual energy here is a few dozen times that of 10 lands, maybe even 100 times. Cultivating here is just too quick. Qiulin grinned. Then, we shall split up right now. I will search for Heaven Workshop and you shall find the 10th tiger. I will give you the map and his location. Moon Angel nodded. She took the map that Qiulin had bought. She looked at the place that he marked and nodded. It was 100,000 miles away, not far from her. Moon Angel could rush over very soon. After all, she knew how to use the space crossing seal. Qiulin was also really decisive. After trying the space crossing seal many times, he left right away. With his God King body and God King Pure Land talent, it was much easier to control. After Moon Angel left the inn, she hid deep into the mountains and started to condense her grotto heavens. In the 10 lands, she broke through to Legend Realm stage 33 but didn't condense grotto heaven. Now, she used the enormous power of cold moon sky to condense it. There was limited power below, but in this world, she condensed a total of 5 grotto heavens. The limit of the 10 lands was equal to grotto heaven realm stage 5 in the 9 skies. Then, she took out the dragon tooth rice and swallowed it. One dragon tooth rice had considerable power in the 10 lands, but in the 9 skies, it was just a pill that couldn't even fill 1 grotto heaven. One needed 10 of them to fill 1. Moon Angel swallowed 100 to fill herself to the brim. Then, she relied on this enormous spiritual energy to take another step to reach stage 6. 6 grotto heavens, each was similar to a long river. Moon Angel stood up and looked into the distance. She had a firm look in her eyes. I have to get the world coordinates. Chapter 281, Qingling. After Moon Angel got the map and broke through to stage 6 of Grotto Heaven Realm, she swiftly headed over to the Qing family. The 10 tigers represented the 10 juniors with the most potential. As Qing Feng was 20 and only at stage 1, he was eliminated. So, this person was definitely stronger than Qing Feng. Based on what Qiulin said, he was born from the same father as Qing Feng. He was the worst of the 10 tigers but he was still much stronger than young Master Qing Feng as he hadn't been abandoned yet. Moon Angel rushed over solemnly. After all, he was regarded as one of the 10 tigers. She had just entered Cold Moon Sky and her strength was limited. If she couldn't win and couldn't get the world coordinates then Moon Angel would have to think of another method. I will definitely be able to get it. Moon Angel said firmly. She had crossed worlds and arrived outside the 10 lands. She would definitely find that person here. Qingling. This was the area where Qingling cultivated. It was a majestic mountain range with numerous mines that could be harvested. He was in charge of the Qing family's business here. There were many workers in the mine who were excavating. Many huge mountains were being dug out and many underground veins were opened up. Carriages of harvested God Spirit meridians were shipped out into Qingling's hands. He left a portion for himself and handed over a portion. Moon Angel came here and didn't expose herself. She infiltrated the small garden to the side of the mine. Beside it was the rumbling and smoky mine. On this side was a home with brilliant scenery. Servants came in and out and it was really luxurious. It formed a clear contrast. Moon Angel headed in and hid in the darkness. She listened to what the servants were talking about. Who did young Master Qingling invite today? I heard that it is an esteemed guest. Esteemed guest? Could the person be more esteemed than young Master Qingling? You can't say that. Young Master Qingling is important but the other party isn't too bad either. I heard that the person came from the Emperor aristocratic family from the moon. Emperor aristocratic family from the moon. The servant exclaimed and looked at the others in shock. Now, you know how important that person is, right? Take good care of him. You are beautiful and if he is interested, even if you spend a night with him, you might still be able to have his child. She touched her cheeks. The servant was embarrassed, annoying. When Moon Angel heard this, she left right away and didn't want to listen to the nonsense that followed. Moon Palace's Qin family is here. Moon Angel was surprised. She didn't expect that in just a few days in Cold Moon Sky, she would face someone from Moon Palace Qin family. This was her family from before. But it is good that you are here. You can distract Qingling, so I can search for the world coordinates. Moon Angel thought about it coldly. She didn't have any thoughts of meeting this Moon Palace Qin family person. She was even lazy to find out who the person was. In the villa, as there were guests, the front courtyard was lit up and very busy. The back courtyard was quiet and cold and it allowed Moon Angel to do what she had to. The world coordinates are a burden, and apart from setting a location, there is no other use. It is impossible that he would bring it on him, so it must be in Qingling's room. Moon Angel was certain. Apart from building teleportation formations and helping people locate things, the world coordinates were pretty much useless. This wasn't a common treasure and most people would just place it in their rooms. Creak. Moon Angel pushed open Qingling's door and as expected, there was a white light source in the dark room. It was the world coordinates. It was placed on the table. Moon Angel opened the door, walked in, and picked it up. She carved a space-crossing seal and she wanted to leave. How bold, a small thief dares to enter young Master Qing's room to steal. Someone hollered in rage. A silver light shot forth and smashed into the seal. Moon Angel swiftly retreated and smacked back. A cold moonlight slashed down. Full moon appeared in her hands. She pulled it open and sliced forwards. Die. Moon Angel didn't speak much nonsense with him. The fight would cause a commotion and alert the others. Any second she wasted would put her in more danger. This was why she took out Full Moon to fight the enemy. Full Moon was really strong and pretty much invincible. With a vicious slash, the glow of a celestial artifact directly sliced his arm off. Not good. This person was really wary. His arm was sliced off right away and he retreated. He suppressed the pain and hollered, "Men, there is an assassin." Moon Angel was really calm. She knew that his cultivation was not lower than hers. She was able to slice his arm off because he didn't notice that she had the celestial artifact. With the sharpness of the celestial artifact, she caught him off guard and sliced off his arm. She couldn't stay anymore. She drew the seal once more. A space-crossing seal that only needed 5 seconds to draw seemed like it took so long at that moment. Wang wang wang. The Dao patterns were spread out and connected to each other. A 6-star seal was about to appear. But accidents often happened at crucial moments. Hong! How bold, you even dare to steal my treasure and injure my butler. You are asking to die. A golden-haired, cold-looking teen held a halberd and smashed down with it. He had struck from the front courtyard. This long halberd was obviously not a normal weapon either. With one strike, he hit the seal, once again shattering Moon Angel's seal at the crucial moment. Moon Angel's gaze became cold. He was forcing her to fight to the death. Dong! The golden-haired Qingling held the long halberd and leaped over. He smashed into the ground and released his aura. Stage 9 Grotto Heaven. 20 years old, Stage 9 Grotto Heaven. This was also quite unbelievable even for someone in Cold Moon Sky. This was only because he had the bloodline of an emperor aristocratic family. Who are you? Qingling looked coldly at Moon Angel and surprise flashed in his eyes. Who would have thought that the thief would be such a beauty? However, in just an instant, she stared at her coldly. So what if she was a beauty? A guy should do what? A guy should work, cultivation, power, that was what a man was meant to control. Women. With all those things, would he lack women? Qin Yu. Someone exclaimed. The neatly dressed guy looked at Moon Angel in disbelief. He recognized Moon Angel. Moon Angel glanced at him and instantly knew who he was. Moon Palace Qin family's son Qin Kun. This was one of the people who he liked when he was young and he often said that he wanted to marry her. But his father, who was the family head, beat him up and he stopped mentioning it. But he really craved her body. Moon Angel looked at Qin Kun coldly. My name is Yuzuna. I am Moon Angel, not Qin Yu. Chapter 282, Power of Celestial Artifact. Qin Kun shook his head and didn't believe Moon Angel's words. He said anxiously, You are Qin Yu. Although you became more alluring and your body got better, it is because you grew up. You are Qin Yu, my sister. Moon Angel's expressionless face twitched. She really wanted to beat someone up. Qin Kun was such a playboy. He even called her his sister, Yu. Qingling frowned, she is from your Qin family. If she was, then it would make it hard for him to attack. Moon Palace Qin family wasn't weaker than their Qing family. After all, they were emperor aristocratic families and had produced emperors before. Their bloodlines were all thick. Qin Kun wanted to say something but Moon Angel said coldly, I am Moon Angel Yuzuna. I am not from Qin family. Qingling squinted and he smiled at Qin Kun, Brother Qin Kun, what do you have to say? Qin Kun said anxiously, Sister Moon, why don't you want to admit that you are from Qin family? If you admit it, I'll beg Brother Qingling to let you off. Let me off. Moon Angel laughed coldly. I want to know how strong the 10th tiger of an emperor aristocratic family is. Moon Angel squinted. With full moon in hand, she even dared to fight someone at stage 10. Qin Kun frowned, "Brother Qingling, my moon sister has some conflicts with Qin family and she is still angry. She is spouting nonsense. She was my Qin family martyr in the past." Qingling smiled and looked at Qin Kun, "Brother Qin, she isn't accepting your help. She is even showing such a cold expression. I think I should beat her up and then hand her over to you to lecture her." "Lecture?" His heart heated up and his face flushed red. "Don't hit her too hard. Don't hurt my sister Moon." Qingling nodded and disdain flashed in his eyes. If Qin Kun was not from the Qin family, he wouldn't have even bothered to talk to him. Perverted. When Moon Angel heard their words, her face turned cold. She felt disgusted. She pulled out full moon and said coldly, "Bring it on. Let me see if you are a cub or a fierce tiger." Hong! Qingling didn't hesitate. His aura exploded and he pounced over. With the halberd in hand, he smashed down viciously. His aura was really aggressive and fierce. He was like a hunting tiger. One move shocked the world. Kong! The aura that Qingling gave off turned into a spotted tiger that suddenly pounced at her. A terrifying aura covered the entire space. Everyone watching felt their breathing become heavy. Their bodies felt like they were about to be ripped apart. Stage 9 Grotto Heaven was just so terrifying. But Moon Angel just looked at him coldly. She was stage 6 Grotto Heaven. She didn't fear such an aura and instead, her fighting spirit was ignited. "So what if you are stage 9 Grotto Heaven? I will still fight you." Moon Angel's body moved. Her speed exceeded the limit, turning into the instantiation of the Dao. Full moon flashed in the sky, giving off a sharp light. It was as if a sliver of silver light had fallen down from the moon. Clang! Full moon and Qingling's halberd clashed and gave out a loud sound. It reverberated around and was really terrifying. This strike demonstrated how terrifying Qingling was. The halberd smashed down like it weighed many heavy mountains. But Moon Angel's full moon was strong too. Any mountain was like paper under the sharpness of a celestial artifact. After full moon shattered the mountains, it smashed the halberd. The two of them separated and pulled open the distance between them. In that clash, Moon Angel relied on the strength of the celestial artifact to be even. A clash between stage 6 and stage 9. She wasn't at any disadvantage. Qingling focused on Moon Angel's full moon. He recognized that the weapon was not ordinary. Without it, Moon Angel wouldn't dare to fight him head-on. "Is that a celestial artifact?" Qingling grinned. Greed appeared in his eyes. To be able to block his halberd's smash so easily without suffering any injuries and even giving him such a strong recoil force that made his wrists hurt, only something with the toughness of celestial artifacts could do that. Moon Angel held the sides of the full moon. A crescent moon shone brightly behind her head. She looked on coldly, "The so-called 10 tigers are just so-so. Stage 9 Grotto Heaven can't even suppress a celestial artifact whose seal isn't unlocked." The full moon was really sharp and tough. At the moment, the full moon only had these two things. Without unlocking the celestial seal, the true strength of the celestial artifact couldn't be utilized, which was why it was just a little tougher and sharper than the halberd. This was why Moon Angel was disappointed that Qingling didn't suppress her. The so-called emperor aristocratic family's 10 tigers weren't that strong. Hong! Moon Angel's words infuriated Qingling. He laughed coldly and stared at Moon Angel. "Everyone knows how to brag. Just now, I was just attacking you for show. Now, I am telling you that I want that celestial artifact." Moon Angel held full moon and said calmly, "Full moon is here. Come and take it then." Explosion! The halberd was waved and Qingling's body moved. This strike covered a huge distance, causing the space around to collapse. The strength of the halberd covered Moon Angel and prevented her from escaping at all. Qingling was like a god. Each step he took would cause the ground to shake and the halberd's strength would be strengthened. Just the ripples alone caused the people in the villa to become more nervous. It was as if the mountains around were about to collapse. Moon Angel, who was in the center, was under the most pressure. "Hand over the celestial artifact, trash your cultivation, and I won't kill you." Qingling was like a golden god, his body was shining bright. The light charged into the clouds and his golden hair danced in the sky. He was also like a golden tiger whose mouth was opened and his fangs were bared to eat someone up. It made one tremble in terror. This time, Qingling took out all the strength of stage 9 Grotto Heaven. It was enormous and extremely aggressive. He just didn't want to let Moon Angel escape. "Brother Qingling, don't hurt my sister Moon's life." Qin Kun hollered and felt both afraid and scared. Qingling didn't care about Qin Kun. What a coward with only Moon Angel in his eyes. When Moon Angel saw the strike, she laughed coldly. "Now, this is what the 10 tigers should be. But unfortunately, you still can't keep me here." Hong! In the next second, when the halberd landed, Moon Angel injected her stage 6 grotto heaven strength into Full Moon. In that instant, Full Moon's celestial seal was opened up. Explosion! Like a volcano erupting, a light slashed through the sky, cutting off the path forwards and breaking the halberd. Kaka! Qingling's invincible weapon broke into two. The invincible pressure was as weak as cotton the moment the celestial artifact was unlocked. At that instant, everyone in the villa felt a terrifying light sweep forth. Each person shuddered and laid on the ground. Qin Kun felt even worse. If not for someone protecting him in the dark, he would have been killed by Moon Angel. After Moon Angel destroyed the halberd, she quickly retreated. She took a bite of the dragon tooth rice and drew the space-crossing seal without hesitation. Hong! Her body combined with space as she entered the 6-star light seal, heading into the distance in an instant. Chapter 283, Protecting Oneself. No one could stop Moon Angel from leaving. After Full Moon was unlocked, it was able to release its strongest strike. That strike broke the halberd and forced Qingling to retreat. He even used all the true qi in his body to block the strike. He personally looked on as Moon Angel left. His eyes were filled with rage, but he couldn't stop her. Search. Use everything to find that woman. Who cares if she is Qin Yu or Moon Angel Yuzuna? She has to die. Qingling hollered in rage. He really wanted to use his halberd to slice off her head. Qin Kun was well protected by the person who his father sent, but he was still a little frightened. He stood up in panic and looked at the mess around. My sister Moon caused this. Young master, Qin Yu must have had a fortuitous encounter. Last time in Heaven and Earth battlefield, the warriors who returned said that Qin Yu's arm had been sliced off and her body was pierced. She should have died. But now she is alive and so much stronger. She even has a celestial artifact and we must report this to the family. The protector said coldly. If we report it, that won't they want to capture her again? Qin Kun was shocked. Of course. It is her destiny to be a martyr. That lord is really unhappy about the backup matter, so if we can capture Qin Yu, that would be great news for us. The protector nodded. But, if Sister Yu is sent back to be the martyr, then won't that mean that I won't have a chance? Qin Kun felt really conflicted. He had never tasted Sister Moon before, so he was reluctant to let her be a martyr. Especially now that Moon Angel was so beautiful and mature. Those long legs made Qin Kun very tempted. She craved her body. The protector was really naggy. There are many women in the world. Forget about this one, the family's plan is more important. Qin Kun thought about it and said, No, your words are not right. I can't send her news back. I will taste her first and then report it. The protector's face twitched. He felt really speechless at how Qin Kun let his desires cloud his judgment. Qin Kun craved Moon Angel's body and wanted it badly. Leave, you are my protector. We shall find Sister Moon and I will talk to her. I will let her know what I think. Qin Kun was delusional and couldn't pull himself out. The protector kept silent and really didn't want to bother with this dumb kid. But he had no choice. His father was the family chief and the protector had no choice but to bring Qin Kun out of Qingling's villa. Qingling noticed that Qin Kun had left, but he was now filled with rage and didn't care about him. He wanted to find Moon Angel and then kill her to get her celestial artifact. You destroyed my halberd, so I will take your celestial artifact and slice off your head. Qingling was cruel. He didn't crave her body at all. Any beautiful body was just a bunch of bones and meat to him. Only cultivation was eternal. Moon Angel escaped the villa and jumped into a forest. She ate many mouths of dragon tooth rice, finding a place to sit down to recuperate. Activating the celestial seal consumed a huge amount of true qi. 6 grotto heavens, each one was similar to a raging ocean. Using them all to activate the seal only allowed her to use one strike. From that, one could see how difficult it was to activate the celestial seal. But all of this was worth it. After Moon Angel ate dozens of grains of dragon tooth rice, she felt her energy returning. She stood up, took out the world coordinates, and smiled. Moon Angel's smile came from the bottom of her heart. She had gotten the world coordinates for her master. She just needed Qiulin to get the star guidance map and she could build a world-grade teleportation formation to let Li Xiandao cross worlds. Once Li Xiandao crossed worlds, he would be able to bring the Bank of the Universe and all the other subordinates over. This was an important thing for Moon Angel. To let Master cross worlds. This was the only thing that she cared about now. But I have revealed myself, offending both Qin and Qing families. With their power, it is too simple to find me. I need to hurry. Moon Angel thought about how two emperor aristocratic families were looking for her and couldn't help but feel anxious. It is okay if I die, but I can't delay Master's world crossing matter. If I do, even if I die 100 times, it will not be enough to repay for my sins. Moon Angel looked at the night sky with a firm expression. Even if she sacrificed herself, she would let Master cross worlds. Let's head back and wait for Qiulin. Moon Angel crossed space and returned to the market. Over in the Bank of the Universe, Li Xiandao and Seven looked at Moon Angel and Qing Ling's fight. They also saw how she fled. Li Xiandao was calm, but looking closely, a small ember was shining. This meant that Li Xiandao was furious. But with Seven by his side, Li Xiandao didn't want her to see him angry, so he tried to suppress himself. Seven was angered too. This Qin Kun is actually targeting Moon Angel, a toad trying to eat the meat of an angel. Li Xiandao said calmly, he won't be able to. That's true, Moon Angel is so amazing, Qin Kun is thinking too much. But I am still worried. Can she handle two emperor aristocratic families attacking her? Seven asked. I don't know. Let's hope that she can last until I cross. Li Xiandao muttered. No matter what dangers and how many enemies she has to face, she has to hold on until I cross. As long as I cross, I will handle it all for her. She is not alone, she has a master behind her. Li Xiandao said firmly to himself. It was okay even if she caused trouble. This was because he existed. She had to be alive even if she offended people. Only then could he solve the problem for her. I am going to cultivate. Legacy Hall got up and entered Legacy Hall. He searched for the priest, Zhao Wuji, Sword God, and Zhao Wuji to discuss the Dao. The Dao related to Grotto Heaven Realm. Although he was unable to break through in the 10 lands, understanding more and accumulating more was still good. Once he entered the 9 skies, he would search into the clouds with just one step. In Heaven Workshop, Qiulin took 200,000 God Source to buy 1-star guidance map. He then hurriedly ran out. He had to rush back as he was worried about elder sister's safety. After all, that was Qing family's 10th tiger who was really strong. The Qing family was also an emperor aristocratic family with many experts. Qiulin used his slightly familiar space-crossing seal to rush towards the market. Chapter 284, Surround. Over at the market, Moon Angel had rushed back and was waiting for Qiulin in the inn. The world coordinates and world-breaking blade were in her hands. All the other formation ingredients were there too. They just lacked the star guidance map. The moment this thing came, she would be able to lay out the teleportation formation. Moon Angel sat in the room, wearing her silver armor. Her hair hung behind her body like a really smooth waterfall. She seemed really calm. But in truth, Moon Angel was really anxious. She could sense that there were people monitoring her nearby. They were sneaky, careful, and hidden. But her sensory ability exceeded their expectations and she noticed them right away. They were either from the Qin or Qing family. She couldn't leave yet. She and Qiulin agreed to meet here, and once she left, if Qiulin landed in the hands of the Qing family, Moon Angel still had to come back to save him. Come back quick. I think the enemy is rushing over. Moon Angel muttered. Pang. In the next second, a 6-star seal appeared in the room and a person headed out. Qiulin rushed back in the end. Moon Angel looked at Qiulin in surprise and awaited the good news. I bought the star guidance map with 200,000 God Source. Qiulin said emotionally. Moon Angel smiled and praised, well done. Now, we have everything. Qiulin was shocked. Sister, did you get the world coordinates? Yes. Moon Angel smiled and nodded. That's great. I didn't expect sister to be so amazing and get the world coordinates which were in the 10th tiger's house. It seems like this 10th tiger isn't that strong then. Qiulin said emotionally. The strength of the Qing family 10 tigers can't be judged. Now, come out and face death. An overbearing holler reverberated through the sky. It was like thunder exploding, spreading in the sky as it rumbled. Moon Angel's expression changed as she looked out of the window. Many people appeared outside the inn. They were wearing black shirts and black pants. They had cold expressions and all of them gave off exceptional auras. They surrounded the inn and were led by a golden-haired teen. One of the Qing family 10 tigers, Qingling, was here. Qiulin asked nervously, how did he find us? Now what? Moon Angel passed all the materials, the world coordinates, and the world-breaking blade to Qiulin. She said solemnly, from now on, focus on building the world-grade teleportation formation. I will delay them. Sister, there are many of them. Qiulin was worried. I will be fine. If you build the world-grade teleportation formation soon, then we will be safe. Do you understand? Moon Angel said solemnly. Okay, I will definitely try my best. Qiulin agreed. He didn't say any nonsense and just started to build the world-grade teleportation formation. Right in this inn, the world-grade teleportation formation's blueprints landed on the ground and Qiulin got busy. Moon Angel looked outside the window and suddenly jumped out. Hong! She didn't hide her aura. She had eaten many grains of dragon tooth rice and had recovered long ago. She had even improved. She flew down from the inn and was faced with over 200 people. All of them were Legend Realm and above and some had reached Grotto Heaven Realm. Their auras were stacked upon each other and seemed really terrifying. Moon Angel landed and ignored the aura. She said calmly, that was quick. Of course, my Qing family is an emperor aristocratic family and we have produced emperors. Isn't it really easy to find a girl like you? Qingling gave a cruel smile and said. I should hide myself then. Moon Angel regretted. She didn't expect to offend people from Qing family. In the past, she was really open and many people would see her. It is too late to regret it. There is nowhere for you to run. Qingling said coldly. What if I flee? Moon Angel looked around and said. She was doing so on purpose. She was delaying time. No matter what, delaying for 1 second would be another second that she could live. Qingling didn't know that Qiulin was building the world-grade teleportation formation in the inn. Moon Angel was drawing their attention here and buying time for him. There is no if. Qingling was decisive. Just surrender and hand over the celestial artifact. Maybe, I'll let you live. A glow flashed in his eyes and he gave her a condition. Maybe, Moon Angel laughed coldly and heard what he was getting at. Maybe he would let her live. It all depended on his mood. Moon Angel wasn't so foolish. Right, maybe. Qingling smiled in glee and said, you aren't my match. You will die in my hands. If you are well behaved and be a servant, then maybe I will let you live. Moon Angel mocked, servant. Right, servant. Qingling nodded. He stared at her emotionlessly. He wasn't one who craved beauties. If he let Moon Angel live, he could exchange for Qin Kun's support and get closer to the Qin family. Moon Angel was beautiful and her body was perfect. She was really mature and all the men were attracted and wanted to get into bed with her. But that didn't include Qingling. Pressing her on the bed would be only a few seconds of joy. Then, she would just be a woman. If she handed Moon Angel to Qin Kun in exchange for Qin family resources, then his cultivation would rise. He definitely wouldn't be the last of the 10 tigers. Wouldn't that be better than just a moment of joy? A guy had to be able to control his lower body and think with a clear mind to obtain the greatest long-term gains. Qingling looked coldly at Moon Angel. At the moment, he was a safe winner. Brother Qingling, don't kill my sister Moon. Qin Kun rushed over with his protector and shouted. Qingling's eyes flashed in disdain. Qin Kun was just a walking bank. But his expression turned into a smile right away. Brother Qin Kun, your sister won't be able to escape now. If you promise me what we were discussing, then I won't kill her. I will trash her cultivation and hand her to you. I promise you. Qin Kun didn't say a word and agreed right away. Qingling laughed out loud, as expected from someone in love. I admire you, brother Qin. Qin Kun smiled, I just love my sister Moon. Don't worry about the resources you want but just don't hurt my sister Moon. When Moon Angel heard them talk about her body, she felt really disgusted. Her expression turned cold. Do you really think I can't do anything now? Chapter 285, I am her master. Qingling pointed at Moon Angel and said coldly, do you still think that you have a choice now? I think that I can try. Moon Angel said seriously. She didn't want to surrender. Qingling smiled in disdain. He stepped forwards, Do you think that with one celestial artifact you can do whatever you want? No, Moon Angel said honestly. A celestial artifact was strong, but she could only use it for one strike. That strike was also a really ordinary strike and wouldn't be able to kill this bunch. The energy of stage 6 Grotto Heaven could unlock the celestial artifact, but to wipe out the 200 people in front of her, that was just impossible. If she was stage 10, she could try to force these 200 back and kill some of them. But now, Moon Angel could only use it to threaten them. Qingling stepped forwards once more and said, I know that you have a celestial artifact. I also know that once you activate it, it will be really strong. This is why I brought these 200 people to surround you. You can activate it, but you can't kill us all in one strike. Moon Angel's expression was solemn. I shall try. Full moon in hand, a crescent moon appeared behind Moon Angel and a giant light exploded. A silver-colored light. Like moonlight, it shone down. It was really beautiful and also really dangerous. The silver light shone towards Qingling. Moon Angel was still delaying time. It was useless to use words, so she had to fight one-on-one to buy as much time as she could. Clang! Qingling didn't dodge that strike and took it head-on. A layer of golden light appeared on his body and blocked Moon Angel's strike. Hong! The ripples caused by the strike spread around and caused the dust to bellow. Qingling stood there uninjured and smiled at Moon Angel in glee. Moon Angel retreated and her expression was serious. Celestial artifact. Qingling's layer of armor was able to block full moon's strike. If it wasn't a celestial artifact, then what was it? Qingling shook his head. It is a quasi-celestial artifact. I borrowed it from the family. It is a defense quasi-celestial artifact. It's really strong. It can block your celestial artifact's attack. That was because an unlocked celestial artifact was just a little sharper than a quasi-celestial artifact. Even if the celestial artifact was unlocked, Qingling was confident in using his stage 9 Grotto Heaven strength to block the strike. The reason was that stage 6 was too weak for him. Do you feel despair now? Qingling smiled in glee as he looked at Moon Angel. He looked at her like he was a cat playing with a rat, totally suppressing her. A full defense quasi-celestial artifact. 200 people. Many of them were stage 1 and 2 of them were Grotto Heaven realm. All of these were so as to deal with Moon Angel. Qingling was just careful and didn't want Moon Angel to flee. One could say that he had laid out a huge net so that there was no way that Moon Angel could flee to. Just be well behaved and surrender. I will destroy your Danshan and you can still be Brother Qin Kun's slave. You can serve him well and live your life. Qingling was confident in victory and sucked up to Qin Kun. After Qin Kun heard that, he felt delighted. He felt that Qingling was a good brother and it was worth getting close to him. When the time came, he would give him more resources. Moon Angel laughed coldly. Serve him. I am Moon Angel Yuzuna. I'm not related to him at all. I will only lower my head to one person in my life. As for Qin Kun, he is not worthy. Moon Angel said in disdain. Qin Kun's expression changed. He was delighted, and now when he heard Moon Angel's words, he was furious. He felt like he was being insulted. He stared at her and scolded, "You bent your knees and back for another guy." In his heart, his sister had to be a virgin, which was why he craved her body so much. But now, this hope was shattered. She instantly felt that Moon Angel was really dirty and she was filled with rage. "My master!" Moon Angel said proudly. She stared at Qin Kun in disdain. What a pervert, was he worthy of being mentioned in the same sentence as her master? Who is your master? He actually dares to take my Qin family martyr as a slave. He deserves to die. I am going to report this news to the family. Your master is someone our Qin family has to kill. Qin Kun was infuriated. He wanted to directly report her to the family. You don't deserve to know my master's name. Moon Angel said coldly. Qin Kun was furious. Brother Qingling, destroy her Danshan. She is the martyr of my Qin family, so she has to do her duty. I am going to bring her back to the family and then sacrifice her. Qingling was stunned and asked, "You aren't going to sleep with her? She chose to give up on herself. She doesn't deserve me." Qin Kun waved his sleeves and said proudly. Moon Angel felt really ironic. She didn't say a word and was lazy to speak to this pervert. Okay then, we have dragged on for so long. It is time to end things. Qingling nodded and was about to grab Moon Angel. Do you know? Moon Angel said suddenly. What? Qingling frowned. Do you know how your brother, young Master Qing Feng died? Moon Angel continued to drag on. I don't want to know. His life and death has nothing to do with me. It is similar to how you wouldn't care about the death of an ant. I am the same too. Also, you seem to be delaying time. Qingling was cold. He didn't care about his brother from the same father. Instead, he was sensitive and picked up Moon Angel, who was delaying time. Moon Angel kept silent. In the next second, behind Moon Angel, an energy fluctuation spread out of the inn. It caused cracks to appear in the world. The calm sky seemed like it was stirred up by someone, and waves appeared. Qingling's expression changed and he scolded, as expected your goal was for the world coordinates to build the world-grade teleportation formation. Moon Angel looked at the inn and smiled happily, it is too late. My master has already crossed worlds. No matter who your master is, he will definitely die today. Qingling hollered in rage and his body shone brightly. He was shining like the sun, lighting up the entire market. Many people weren't able to open their eyes. Explosion! Qingling punched forwards viciously, turning into a flaming tiger that struck Moon Angel. This was the hateful attack of a stage 9 Grotto Heaven expert. Moon Angel's expression changed. She had to activate the celestial seal to block it. But in the next second, a terrifying power spread out from the inn. Hong! This power directly crushed Qingling, smacking Qingling 30 meters away. He stumbled in disbelief. Who are you? Qingling hollered in rage. I am her master. A cold voice rang out and then a person walked out of the inn. He took one step out. There was a loud explosion. The 200 people all felt like they were facing a primitive beast that was baring its fangs and hollering towards them. Kong. Chapter 286, Killing Qin Kun. Li Xiandao crossed worlds and walked out of the teleportation formation. He felt the spiritual energy which was 100 times stronger than that of the 10 lands and took in a deep breath. Hong! In the next second, an extremely strong power exploded in Li Xiandao's body. It surged forwards and flung Qingling out. I am Moon Angel's master. Have you asked for my opinion on whether or not you want to kill her? Li Xiandao looked around. His words were filled with killing intent. The surrounding air froze and an invisible killing intent leaked out. Explosion! Qingling jumped up and slapped. Terrifying power exploded as a golden-colored hand turned into a stone steel and smashed down. A black valley appeared in the sky. This was the strength of someone at stage 9 Grotto Heaven Realm. It was extremely terrifying. I don't care whose master you are. Do I need to say hi to you because I want to kill someone? Qingling hollered in rage. His gaze was filled with the flames of anger. It was really terrifying. In that moment, Qingling was like a bright star in the night sky, giving off a golden light. He burned bright like a flame. The degree of terror from that strike had reached the limit of Qingling's ability. It was bright and beautiful, making everyone around look on in anticipation. The Qing family's 10 tigers were just so amazing. Dang! But in the next second, Li Xiandao used a simple strike that landed on the giant steel. The strength of the hand was actually blocked by Li Xiandao's casual attack. No! Impossible! Qingling didn't dare to believe that his strongest strike was blocked just like that. Li Xiandao wore a mask and looked at him coldly, you are now like a clown playing your own games. I don't believe this. Qingling hollered in rage. He slapped many strong, golden palms which astonished the people around. This power was really terrifying and the space around was even shaking. Dang! 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 But no matter how many times he slapped, Li Xiandao just used one simple slap to smack him away. 9 golden steels smashed down towards Li Xiandao. He used 9 consecutive slaps to smack them away, causing Qingling to spit out 9 mouthfuls of fresh blood. His face was ashen white and even with the quasi-celestial artifact protecting him, he felt as though his body was about to rip open. How is that possible? I used the power of stage 9 Grotto Heaven and each slap is equal to 1 Grotto Heaven. How did this happen? Qingling coughed up blood and he looked at Li Xiandao in terror. Not only him, but the people around all looked like they had seen a ghost. They didn't dare believe everything that had happened. That might be because you are too weak. Li Xiandao thought about it. If there was no other explanation, then this was the only possibility. You, this infuriated Qingling and it made him spit out blood. Even his body was trembling. He was weak? He reached stage 9 Grotto Heaven realm at 20 years old. He was one of the Qing family 10 tigers and his future was limitless. Was he weak? Qingling looked at Li Xiandao in rage. There was nothing he could do but recover from his injuries. Moon Angel saw how Li Xiandao had crushed Qingling so easily. She knelt down on one knee and said emotionlessly, "Welcome master. Stand up. You have done well. I am going to reward you." Li Xiandao nodded and said calmly, "Thank you, master." Moon Angel retreated and stood there respectfully behind Li Xiandao. When Qin Kun saw that, he was extremely angry. Did Qin Yu look down on him because of this guy? Who are you to dare make my Qin family martyr your subordinate? How bold! Qin Kun hollered in rage. I am Moon Angel's master. Li Xiandao looked at Qin Kun coldly. Both his gaze and tone were cold. When he was in the Bank of the Universe he had already seen Qin Kun's actions. He was just a pervert. He was a pervert with no skill at all. Qin Yu belongs to my Qin family. You actually made my Qin family member your subordinate. Are you sick of living? Qin Kun gritted his teeth and said. Moon Angel is from your Qin family. Li Xiandao laughed coldly and asked Moon Angel, you are from the Qin family. Moon Angel said coldly, Moon Angel Yuzuna belongs to master. I am not Qin Yu and I have nothing to do with the Qin family. Li Xiandao looked at Qin Kun and said coldly, have you heard that? Qin Kun laughed coldly, do you think you can escape by changing your name? The strength of my Qin family exceeds your expectation. The emperor aristocratic family from the Moon Palace cannot be offended by a mask wearer like you. Now, hand over Qin Yu and trash your own cultivation. Otherwise, I will show you the Qin family's strength. Qin Kun said proudly. When those words were said, Qingling closed his eyes, speechless. He felt tired and wanted to curse Qin Kun for being stupid. Didn't he see how his 9 slaps couldn't beat this masked man? He had no strength at all and the Qin family wasn't here either, so what was he being proud of? As expected, the moment Li Xiandao heard this, he frowned and stepped forward. Hong! This step was silent but when he landed, the world was shocked. Numerous sword energies shot out from Li Xiandao's legs, turning into a dense sword rain which covered Qin Kun. Qin Kun was stunned. What was going on? You were killing me just because you don't agree? Shouldn't you be afraid of my family? Shouldn't you be afraid of the emperor aristocratic family? The moves that usually worked failed at this moment. Qin Kun was stunned. He couldn't beat Li Xiandao. Or rather, his cultivation was similar to Qulin and he didn't enter human celestial realm. Facing Li Xiandao's invincible sword energy, Qin Kun hollered, Protector, save me. The Protector was annoyed too. Li Xiandao was so strong, so why offend him? But he had to save this person, so he hollered in rage. Energy surged into his fist and he punched toward Li Xiandao. He didn't want to save Qin Kun. He wanted to kill Li Xiandao. He wanted to force Li Xiandao not to kill Qin Kun. But he underestimated Li Xiandao. Facing this fist technique, Li Xiandao formed a sword with his fingers and stabbed forwards. Overturning the ocean. This sword instantly shot forth. An ocean was hidden in the sword and it struck the protector's fist right away. Explosion. A terrifying fist technique was locked down by overturning the ocean. It blocked the strike and then an ocean covered it. Any fist was turned to dust under that strike. The protector flew backwards and spat out mouthfuls of blood. His body wobbled as he hit Qingling. No. He didn't even care about his injuries, just staring at Qin Kun in terror. If Qin Kun died, then he wouldn't survive either. Explosion. But his furious shouts didn't help in any way at all. Qin Kun was still suppressed by Li Xiandao's sword and he was only able to shout, Qin Wu is my father. If you dare to kill me, you will definitely die. Chapter 287, Stage 10 Grotto Heaven. Even if your father is the Emperor of Heaven, I will overturn the heavens. Li Xiandao said in disdain. He didn't care about Qin Kun at all. Li Xiandao killed Qin Kun like a fly. It was just a casual strike and it wasn't worth mentioning at all. He looked at Qingling and the 200 people around. He was really calm, you brought so many people to come and kill my subordinate. How would you like to die? Who are you? Qingling gritted his teeth and stared at Li Xiandao. He realized that he couldn't see through Li Xiandao's cultivation. It wasn't that Li Xiandao's cultivation was too high but because that the cultivation he revealed was a little low. Qingling didn't believe it. An unknown person, Moon Angel's master. Li Xiandao said calmly. You just killed Qin Kun, the Qin family's son, and now you want to kill me. Have you thought about the consequences of offending two emperor aristocratic families? Qingling asked. Li Xiandao nodded, I did. You did, and you still killed Qin Kun. Qingling was filled with disbelief. Even if he hated and treated Qin Kun with disdain, he wouldn't kill him as he would offend the Qin family. With just two aristocratic families, what is there to be worried about? Li Xiandao said calmly. Just two aristocratic families, Qingling didn't dare believe his ears. He stared at Li Xiandao. As two families that have produced emperors, we are the top families. So what? Li Xiandao asked. Qingling was speechless. Li Xiandao's arrogance changed his opinion. Did the emperor aristocratic families not have any threats? Why was Li Xiandao not afraid at all? Instead, he was looking at him with a cold stare. My Qin family has a whole bunch of people who can kill you. You are just too arrogant. Qin Kun's protector gritted his teeth and said. He was protecting Qin Kun, and now that Qin Kun died, with Qin Kun's father's personality, even if he didn't die, he would become a handicap. This was why the protector was filled with despair. He didn't fear Li Xiandao and just laughed coldly. My cultivation. Li Xiandao sized himself up and asked, am I weak? Although I don't know why you are so amazing and your aura is so aggressive, you haven't even condensed one grotto heaven. How are you a match for my emperor aristocratic family? The protector laughed coldly. Qingling looked at Li Xiandao in shock as he didn't expect to find out that Li Xiandao hadn't even entered grotto heaven realm. Now, he noticed that Li Xiandao really didn't have a grotto heaven. He was relying solely on his own strength. This shocked Qingling even more. What he saw before was real, Li Xiandao was just so weak. But him not condensing the grotto heavens was what made Qingling's heart turn cold. Li Xiandao relied solely on his own strength to prevent him from fighting back at all. His body was about to collapse and it was just so terrifying. Was this an ancient god's body? If not, there was no reason for him to be so scary. Li Xiandao looked at their shocked expressions and calmly asked, is it hard to enter grotto heaven realm? Hong. After Li Xiandao took that step, a storm began to brew. The color of the sky changed and a ghost-like howl spread out in the night sky. It was really sharp and pierced one's eardrums. This was Li Xiandao sucking spiritual energy into his body, turning into a whirlpool. The swift absorption of spiritual energy resulted in that sound, and it wasn't truly the howls and cries of ghosts. In an instant, Li Xiandao swallowed all the spiritual energy within 500 miles. He continued to snatch all the spiritual energy around. Energy surged within his body. At this moment, the power he amassed in 10 lands totally exploded. After Li Xiandao took that step, a whole new world opened in his mind. Right, a whole new world. Other people's grotto heaven were only 100 or maybe 1000 meters. But Moon Angel's grotto heaven was as wide as a river. She had just broken through and hadn't used the strength of her grotto heaven yet. As for Li Xiandao, his grotto heaven was a world. A familiar and beautiful world. Dali Land. This was the first world that Li Xiandao saw when he opened his eyes. The grotto heaven he was condensing was based on Dali Land. Explosion. The spiritual energy around turned into 10 huge dragons that entered his grotto heaven. At that moment, Li Xiandao's aura made Qingling and the protector open their mouths wide in terror. That grotto heaven was just too terrifying. After the first grotto heaven was condensed, Li Xiandao stepped out. The moment he took his second step, it was totally silent. But when he landed, the ground shook and everything trembled. Spiritual energy surged into Li Xiandao's body and charged into the second grotto heaven. Ancient Desolate Land. Li Xiandao formed the second grotto heaven with Ancient Desolate Land as the model. Such terrifying scenes caused Qingling's legs to go soft. He looked on in terror. He wanted to flee but he wasn't able to. Li Xiandao's spiritual energy absorption was so scary that he absorbed all the spiritual energy produced at that moment. No one could snatch it from him. Numerous people stood up and looked towards the market in shock and disbelief. Which huge expert was breaking through? They definitely wouldn't expect it to be just Li Xiandao breaking through to Grotto Heaven Realm. Many people rushed over and wanted to see what was going on. But everyone in the market couldn't help but kneel down. Moon Angel and Qiulin willingly knelt down. Qiulin tried his best to build the teleportation formation. He saw Li Xiandao cross worlds and walked out along with Li Xiandao. He excitedly stood behind Moon Angel. As expected from the Master of Bank of the Universe, he was just too strong. He was able to cause such a strong commotion just by condensing a grotto heaven. At that moment, an idea appeared in Qiulin's mind. Li Xiandao didn't know what he was thinking and continued to step forwards. Third step. Dong. Another giant pressure smashed down, forcing everyone to lay on the ground. Li Xiandao's aura was like a rainbow. The three worlds appeared behind his head, making one feel both terror and envy. Eternal Land. The third world was the Eternal Land. At that moment, Li Xiandao took his fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Only on the 10th step did Li Xiandao arrive in front of Qingling. Qingling was already laying face down on the ground. The quasi-celestial artifact was even crying out in pain as it tried to block Li Xiandao's terrifying aura. The protector was forced to spit out blood. He was definitely dead. Long ago when Li Xiandao had taken his fifth step, the 200 helpers Qingling brought all died from their blood vessels exploding. Only Qingling was able to survive with the protection of the quasi-celestial artifact. But now, he looked at Li Xiandao like he was looking at an invincible god. Li Xiandao's 10 grotto heavens were the 10 lands. Death Spirit Land, Ancient Buddha Land, Cloud Mist Land, Ancient Desolate Land, 10,000 Beast Land, Kunlun Land, Red Soil Land, Eternal Land, and Death Spirit Land. 10 lands correlated with the 10 grotto heavens. Li Xiandao's aura spread over 100,000 miles and he swallowed all the spiritual energy alone. Now, tell me, should I be afraid of your so-called emperor aristocratic family? Li Xiandao asked Qingling. He dissipated his aura and retracted his 10 grotto heavens. At that moment, his strength climbed at an insane rate. Li Xiandao felt that he could just rip the sky open by reaching out with his hand. Chapter 288, The Bank of the Universe appears in the 9 skies. Qingling slowly raised his head and looked at Li Xiandao like he was looking at a god. Li Xiandao represented invincibility. At that moment, even if Qingling was at stage 9 and seemed like he was one realm away from Li Xiandao, in truth, he felt that the gap between him and Li Xiandao was like the difference between heaven and earth. It filled him with terror. You? How are you so terrifying? Qingling looked at Li Xiandao in terror. Li Xiandao looked at him calmly with not much emotion. Should I kill you? Qingling took in a deep breath and said decisively, to kill or not to kill, it is the same. You have destroyed my confidence. I wanted to kill your subordinate and you want to kill me. That's quite normal. Qingling was a decisive person and he knew that he was dead. As such, he didn't beg for mercy. Rather than that, why not die with some pride? Li Xiandao looked at Qingling and said playfully, suddenly, I don't feel like killing you. I was able to cross worlds thanks to your world coordinates, so I should actually thank you for that. Qingling looked at Li Xiandao in shock. Don't kill him? Are you not afraid that I will take revenge? Qingling asked. I have shattered your confidence, so unless you can pick yourself up, you will be useless in the future. To say the truth, I have never treated you as an opponent. Li Xiandao was honest. The truth hurt. Qingling had nothing to say. Li Xiandao could suppress him with just his aura and he had the right to say such words. Rise up, your men and Qin family members have died. You are the only one alive. You will face their questioning. Li Xiandao said calmly and left. He really didn't kill Qingling. When Moon Angel saw this, he immediately left along with Li Xiandao. Sister, wait for me. Qiulin rushed over and shouted. Li Xiandao stopped and looked at Qiulin. Our contract has ended. Qiulin nodded and smiled. The contract has ended but we should be friends. Can I invite all of you to a meal? Qiulin wanted to get close and then raise his request. No need. Since the contract has ended, from now onwards, you should work hard on your own. Li Xiandao shook his head. This. Bank Master, I really want to join you and be your subordinate. When Qiulin heard that they were about to separate, he anxiously spoke his request. Li Xiandao looked at Qiulin in shock. Why did he want to be his subordinate for no reason? I don't need subordinates. Li Xiandao rejected. Qiulin was too weak. My cultivation might be low but I have the God King body and the God King Pure Land talent. Give me some time and I will grow quickly. Qiulin promoted himself. There is no need. You might not know, but none of my men are weaker than your God King body. Truthfully, God King body seems good on the surface, but to me, you aren't good enough. Li Xiandao rejected him without hesitation. He didn't care about the God King body at all. Qiulin eyes opened wide. The God King body that he treated like a baby had actually been disregarded by Li Xiandao. At that moment, he didn't think that Li Xiandao was insulting him. He felt that Li Xiandao had too many experts under him and he himself had to join them. Li Xiandao didn't give him the chance. A 6-star formation appeared and he stepped in. You have done well. I am giving you the remaining 800,000 God Source. We won't be meeting in the future. Moon Angel stepped into a seal and looked at Qiulin before she left. Cultivate well. With the potential of God King body, you will do good in the future. Also, be careful of people from Qin and Qing family. Don't let them hunt you down. Moon Angel instructed. She was satisfied with Qiulin for helping her build the world-grade teleportation formation, which was why she said a few more sentences. Qiulin nodded. He knew that he couldn't become one of Li Xiandao's men, so he had to think of other ways. He looked on as Li Xiandao and Moon Angel disappeared. The Bank of the Universe's master has many experts. I must enter and become one of them. Only by sparring with experts will I improve. I won't give up. Qiulin said firmly. Li Xiandao and Moon Angel entered the seal and arrived at these giant plains. The night sky was covered in beautiful stars. These plains were hundreds of thousands of miles away from the market. There was no one around and the moonlight made this place a little blurry. Li Xiandao established the Bank of the Universe here for the time being. The Bank of the Universe couldn't travel around. Li Xiandao could bring the Bank of the Universe with him everywhere, but he could only do so in one world. Now, Li Xiandao set the Bank of the Universe on the grass plains. The Bank of the Universe was hidden in another dimension and no one was able to see it. Li Xiandao and Moon Angel entered the Bank of the Universe. Explosion. The Bank of the Universe was familiarizing itself with this world. Spiritual energy surged in and changed the spiritual energy from the 10 lands. Spiritual energy, 100 times thicker, was instantly absorbed. Everyone was delighted and filled with emotions. Li Xiandao told Moon Angel to rest. She had worked hard this time. Within the Bank of the Universe, Li Xiandao returned to his room and found 7. He asked, now that we are in Cold Moon Sky, what is the first thing we should do? Actually, there were many things to do: unlock the 5th mountain, clear contracts, welcome guests, cultivate. I am dealing with contracts, but I think that you should set up an address for the Bank of the Universe. 7 told Li Xiandao. Li Xiandao frowned. Address? Right, you are just casually setting up the Bank of the Universe on these grasslands. Although the bank is in space, this place is not convenient and the spiritual energy is not that strong here. 7 nodded. So, I should find some place with thick spiritual energy, set up the Bank of the Universe there, and then expand across Cold Moon Sky and then 9 skies. Li Xiandao asked. Right, that is what we should do. Normal places in Cold Moon Sky have 100 times more spiritual energy than 10 lands. But in some holy lands, the spiritual energy is a few hundred times more than the 10 lands. If they lay out some spiritual energy gathering formations, spirit locking formations, etc., the spiritual energy will reach 1000 times. This gap is huge. 7 looked at Li Xiandao and said. Li Xiandao nodded and agreed with 7's words. He asked, do you have any recommendations? At the moment, Li Xiandao had no understanding of Cold Moon Sky. He was totally confused, so he decided to ask 7. Chapter 289, Qingling's Tragic Encounter. 7 didn't reply to Li Xiandao's question and just took out a contract which she passed to Li Xiandao. Look at this. 7 smiled and looked at Li Xiandao. Li Xiandao looked at the contract and opened it. 10,000 Spirit Holy Lands 4th Sect Leader paid 10 million God Source to borrow 10 Spiritual Energy Dragon Veins. He will return it in 10,000 years. Compensation price, 10,000 Spirit Holy Land will belong to the Bank of the Universe. These were the specific details on the contract. But this contract had been signed 30,000 years ago. 000 years had passed and they still hadn't paid back the 10 spiritual energy dragon veins. They must have broken the contract. Li Xiandao looked at 7 and said, is that person still alive? He is, otherwise, I wouldn't have taken this out. I would have thrown the contract away when I was tidying everything up. 7 said. Li Xiandao nodded and said, what are these 10 spiritual energy dragon veins? They are God spirit meridians from the 9 lands and they're 1 grade higher than normal God spirit meridians. 7 explained. If you treat God spirit meridians as the God source combination item in the 10 lands, then the spiritual energy dragon vein is the combination of spiritual energy in the 9 skies. 1 spiritual energy dragon vein can absorb spiritual energy to replenish itself and feed the sect. By placing down a seal to lock down a spirit vein, one will be able to obtain endless spiritual energy. 7 added. Li Xiandao understood, these 10 spiritual energy dragon veins are in this 10,000 spirit holy land. Yes. 7 nodded and sat beside Li Xiandao. He pointed at the contract and said, I think this 10,000 spirit holy land has a good environment and is suitable for the Bank of the Universe to gain a foothold. This was why I took it out for you. Is the scenery good? Li Xiandao asked. He had never been to this 10,000 spirit holy land and didn't know about the specific situation. 7 nodded. 30,000 years ago when the master before you took over, he signed the contract with this sect leader. I saw sect leaders design in 10,000 spirit holy land. It was really beautiful. Li Xiandao cursed, that scumbag. The first contract was signed in the 9 skies and he even wasted 10 spiritual energy dragon veins. I really envy him. 7 laughed. Thinking about it, Li Xiandao's life wasn't easy. His first contract was completed using 5 years of his own lifespan. Only then was he able to slowly strengthen the Bank of the Universe. Compared to the last master, Li Xiandao's start was tough. How beautiful was 10,000 spirit holy land. Li Xiandao didn't want to talk about sad matters and changed the topic. 10,000 spirit holy land is in the ocean. It is a dragon-like long island with hundreds of rare spiritual flowers. That place is near the continent. It's not too far away. It is really suitable for us. 7 replied. Li Xiandao nodded. Hearing what 7 said, he was tempted too. These grass plains were just too random and it wasn't suitable for the Bank of the Universe's identity. Li Xiandao thought about it and said, continue tidying the contracts. I will head to that place myself. 7 stood up and winked playfully at Li Xiandao, okay. Li Xiandao smiled as he saw 7 leave. He took the contract and thought about it. He changed into a white robe and stepped out of the Bank of the Universe with an inked mask on his face. It was already morning and the first sliver of sunlight shone down. It chased away the darkness on the grasslands. Li Xiandao walked out of the Bank of the Universe and the first thing he saw was a pack of wolves that were tearing apart a wild cow. It was a little gory to witness such scenes so early in the morning. These grasslands don't have any style and it's not suitable for Bank of the Universe. Li Xiandao frowned and muttered. He stepped forwards and a 6-star space crossing seal appeared. Li Xiandao rushed into the distance. He brought the Bank of the Universe along with him when he left and he wasn't planning to establish the Bank of the Universe there. On Li Xiandao's side, he was searching for a new location for the Bank of the Universe. On the other hand, Qingling wasn't killed by Li Xiandao, but he felt worse than if he was killed. He was being questioned by the head of the Qin family. Qin Kun went to be his guest and now that Qin Kun was killed and he wasn't, this was a huge problem. Qin family head even wanted to kill Qingling to bury someone along with his son. Fortunately, Qingling was an emperor aristocratic family too and didn't allow direct bloodline children to be killed. They agreed to trash Qingling's cultivation but they allowed him to live. They continued to question him about Li Xiandao. The aggressive and valiant Qing family 10th tiger instantly fell to a piece of trash with no cultivation. One had to say that this was really ironic. He didn't die at Li Xiandao hands. Furthermore, his cultivation was destroyed by his own family instead. All of this was done to suppress the rage of the Qin family head. Qingling was abandoned. He was dispirited and it was hard to describe his own emotions. Li Xiandao's words had dealt a huge blow to him and he was prepared to recover confidence to work hard. After he returned, his family members didn't say a word and trashed his cultivation. They imprisoned him to be questioned. The Qin family head looked on from above at Qingling. He didn't care about this so-called member of the 10 tigers. After forcing Qingling to say everything he knew, the interrogation ended. The Qing family head said coldly, "Your mistake caused the death of the Qin family young master. You nearly spoiled the good relationship between our families. Now, I will destroy your cultivation as an answer to the Qin family. In the future, you will just give birth to a kid for the family. We will assign you a wife. Qingling's only use was to be a horse. If it wasn't for that use, he might have really been killed to suppress the Qin family head's anger. Qingling looked at the Qin family head in despair. Disdain appeared at the corner of his lips. He was too lazy to explain. With such a father, no wonder he had such a lousy son. Qin Kun asked for his own death and now he was the one who was punished for it. When I capture that person, if he says that you were to blame for Qin Kun's death, don't blame me for being impolite. Qin family head didn't like his mocking smile. He waved his sleeves and said coldly. Qingling continued and didn't say a word. A trash son. A father who protected the useless, what a bunch of nonsense. Scoff, even though you are trash, you still dare to behave so arrogantly. I really want to see how you survive your sad life. The Qin family head laughed coldly and left. Qingling was then tossed into a courtyard. An old grandma served him. Not long later, an okay-looking girl walked in and said that she was his wife and that she wanted to give birth to a child for him. Qingling stared at her coldly and she was so terrified that she didn't dare to get close. You are already handicapped and still so hot-tempered. If I wasn't instructed to do so, I wouldn't want to be your wife at all. The girl said in disdain. Then, leave. I don't mind. Qingling closed his eyes and said calmly. At this moment, his heart was empty. Chapter 290, 10,000 Spirit Holy Land. No one sympathized with Qingling for his tragic treatment. Competition within the Qing family was really intense. Now that he was gone, other people could take his spot. Qingling had also offended the Qin family head, so those who used to be close to him had all disappeared. No one in the huge Qing family came to visit him. Life was filled with sadness and joy and Qingling tasted it all. Occasionally, he would think about killing himself to give himself release. But Qingling had great mental strength and decided not to do so. His cultivation wasn't trashed by that masked expert. If he killed himself, that just showed that he was a coward. Qingling forced himself to live in the end. Within the Qing family, he was looked down on by everyone and no one bothered about him. Even his wife didn't meet him and went to flirt with others. When Qingling learned of this, he didn't do anything. Anyway, he wouldn't touch that so-called wife. To outsiders, he became a man of few words, like a turtle that didn't care about anything. Fortunately, there was an old grandma who took care of him, giving him that bit of warmth. Even if the grandma was a mute and was only in charge of his 3 meals. Since he was injured, his father hadn't even come once. He treated Qingling really coldly. Every day he would head to the lake and sit there for a full day. No one knew what he was doing. Was he just chilling out? Or, was he just a fool? In the end, everyone forgot about him. He went from one of the 10 tigers with limitless potential to a person who no one cared about. But this was what he wanted. Only after a caterpillar goes through pain and suffering will it become a butterfly. This series of blows has allowed me understand this theory. I am looking forward to the time I turn into a butterfly. Qingling sat under the sunlight. His body felt really warm. The dentin and veins that were destroyed gave off a strong sense of life at this moment. In his darkest moment, a bright light appeared. He recalled the secret technique that he got when he was young. Zhuangzhou Dream Butterfly. In a dream, Zhuangzhou and a butterfly met each other and had a philosophical conversation. The ancient saint, Zhuangzhou, used it to create a supreme technique. Qingling comprehended a little bit and was waiting for the moment he turned into a butterfly. I should thank that mysterious masked expert. Without him dealing a blow to me and letting me off, I wouldn't have obtained this chance. Qingling felt some gratitude towards Li Xiandao. He'd rather thank an outsider, an enemy, someone who nearly killed him than anyone from the Qing family. Qingling really excluded himself from the Qing family. Cold moon sky was huge. Li Xiandao took 7 days to reach the shore. This was mainly because Li Xiandao stopped many times to look at the scenery. As he admired the surrounding area, Li Xiandao couldn't help but praise Cold Moon Sky for their strength. Some talented kids reached Heaven Essence Realm at 10, even in such an environment. There were even some who reached Saint Realm. Unbelievable. The environment in the 9 skies was just so much better than the 10 lands. Moreover, Li Xiandao came from Dali land, which was much worse. He came to the shore and found a boatman. He bought a boat and rowed it towards 10,000 Spirit Holy Land. 10,000 Spirit Holy Land was on the ocean, and when 7 said that it was not far from land, it was relative to cultivators. For a normal boatman, this distance was still quite far. Li Xiandao looked at the scenery of the ocean, the blue sky, and the white clouds which made everything seem so relaxed. He just stood at the front of the boat as it shot forth like a sharp arrow. A day later, Li Xiandao saw the so-called 10,000 Spirit Holy Land. On the ocean, a white fog spread. Normally when boatmen entered this place, they would lose their sense of direction. When cultivators entered they would also be trapped here. These were the seals laid out by 10,000 Spirit Holy Land. It hid the island from the outside world. When Li Xiandao looked at the seal, he shook his head. Although the seal can be used to confuse people, this arrangement is too weak. Moreover, the seals have been set so long ago and many areas have been broken. This seal couldn't trap Li Xiandao at all. On Seal Mountain Peak, Li Xiandao comprehended many seals and now these were just small tricks to him. Standing at the front of the boat, Li Xiandao controlled the boat forwards, avoiding the attacks of some of the seals. Li Xiandao entered 10,000 Spirit Holy Land really easily. Aren't they just too relaxed? Li Xiandao frowned. It was so easy not because he understood seals but because the mist seal was just too relaxed. Another person with a few hundred years of seal studies would be able to enter too. A holy land has such weak seals. What happened? Li Xiandao was curious. He reached the shore and parked the boat. He stepped onto 10,000 Spirit Holy Land. What he saw were scenes of destruction. There was no one guarding the port and the pier was abandoned. Most of the buildings were shattered and the only thing left was flowers and grass. 10,000 Spirit Holy Land has no disciples. Has it been abandoned? Li Xiandao found the situation a bit weird. He flew up into the sky and looked down on the entire island. It was huge. It could fit at least a few 100,000 people. It had 4 ports and there was even a mountain in the middle of the island. It was huge and it looked like a dragon could really hide on this island. Looking down from above, the island was really colorful. There were flowers everywhere. The only thing that confused Li Xiandao was the fact that there wasn't enough spiritual energy. He wasn't referring to cold moon sky standards but the standards of those 10 spiritual energy dragon veins. The 10 spiritual energy dragon veins were on this island. Along with seals suppressing, the spiritual energy should be a few hundred or even 1,000 times more than the outside. In truth, this place was the same as the outside world. It was 3 to 5 times thicker than on land. But spiritual energy on land should have been thicker than at sea. The 10 spiritual energy dragon veins were gone. Li Xiandao looked around and realized that no one was left. He took the contract and started to search for the one who signed the contract. He was on the island. The contract wouldn't be wrong. But Li Xiandao really didn't see anyone. He had been guided by the contract to a tomb at the midwaist of the mountain. 10,000 Spirit Holy Land's 4th sect leader's tomb. Li Xiandao looked at the contract. It hadn't been destroyed, so this person was not dead. He was buried here and had faked his death? Li Xiandao knocked on the tomb. Peng peng peng. Brother, an old friend is here. Come out. Li Xiandao said. Chapter 291, Ouyang ran. There was no reaction when Li Xiandao first said it. He was really calm and continued to knock like he was knocking on a door. The difference was that he was knocking onto a tomb. Dong dong dong. Li Xiandao tapped a few times and a low voice spread out from the tomb. Brother, stop hiding from your 30,00-year-old debt. Come out and chat. Li Xiandao continued. Things shouldn't exceed 3. Li Xiandao had already invited him twice and if he didn't come out, he wouldn't ask for a 3rd time. He would dig the tomb out if he had to. Luckily, the person in the tomb didn't let Li Xiandao invite him for a 3rd time. I have already been dead for 30,000 years, so why are you asking me to come alive again? An unhappy voice rang out. Li Xiandao said calmly, I am here to collect debts. I owe people a debt. Confusion, shock, and loss. Have you become stupid laying in the tomb? Li Xiandao asked. A little. The voice was a little depressed. Li Xiandao saw the dirt rumbling and a coffin floated out. A dry, white hand pushed open the lid of the coffin. Hong! The coffin was quite heavy and it smashed into the ground. An old, dry corpse laid in the coffin. His hair was all silver and his skin was creased. He looked like a zombie. The only difference was that the old man had his eyes open. He looked towards the sun and muttered, I have not seen the sun in 30,000 years. I'm actually not used to it at all. Li Xiandao stood in front of the tomb and looked at the old man. He asked, "You are Ouyang Ran?" "Yes, and who are you, little kid?" Ouyang Ran asked. "Someone from the Bank of the Universe." Li Xiandao said calmly. The Bank of the Universe. Ouyang Ran opened his eyes wide and he stared at Li Xiandao. He had not heard of that name in 30,000 years. "You are from the Bank of the Universe?" Ouyang Ran asked carefully. "Do you remember the contract that you signed?" Li Xiandao passed the contract to Ouyang Ran. Ouyang Ran looked at it and those past scenes appeared in his mind. He muttered, "I thought all of you disappeared. We have always been around. As for you, why did you bury yourself?" Li Xiandao asked. "I am now a dead person. Isn't it normal for the dead to be buried?" Ouyang Ran replied. "Why did you die? How did 10,000 Spirit Holy Land end up like this?" Li Xiandao asked. "Don't ask too much. I won't tell you." Ouyang Ran didn't want to reply. "Okay then, let's talk about the contract. You broke the contract and based on the details, 10,000 Spirit Holy Land belongs to my Bank of the Universe." Li Xiandao didn't mind. His tone changed as he said. "You can have it. Anyway, it is just a broken place and isn't worth much. If you want it, then take it." Ouyang Ran looked around in melancholy. "As the fourth sect leader of 10,000 Spirit Holy Land, you aren't saying that 10,000 Spirit Holy Land ended up like this and you even have to give it to the Bank of the Universe?" Li Xiandao asked. "Had eyes, the juniors failed, so what can a dead man like me do?" Ouyang Ran was filled with regret. "Okay, since this 10,000 Spirit Holy Land belongs to the Bank of the Universe, then you should leave." Li Xiandao said coldly. Ouyang Ran's expression became bitter. "I am dead and am just sleeping in this tomb. You are going to chase me away. You can stay but you have to tell me where the 10 spiritual energy dragon veins went." Li Xiandao's lips curled up as he asked. "It was swallowed." Ouyang Ran said. "Why was 10,000 Spirit Holy Land destroyed?" Li Xiandao asked. Ouyang Ran's expression changed and he said, "What if I don't reply?" "If you don't, then you can move out. The world is huge and there are many places where you can be buried." Li Xiandao was really direct. 10,000 Spirit Holy Land was destroyed because of a battle. Ouyang Ran was helpless. "What battle?" Li Xiandao continued to ask. "I can't say. Some things can't be spoken of, so please stop asking." Ouyang Ran's expression was filled with helplessness and his tone was really firm. "Okay, then I will consider that you passed. From now onward, 10,000 Spirit Holy Land belongs to the Bank of the Universe. You can continue laying in your tomb." Li Xiandao stopped asking. He was sure that a battle occurred 30,000 years ago and 10,000 Spirit Holy Land was destroyed then. Ouyang Ran dug himself a tomb, built a coffin, and buried himself here. He had been buried here for 30,000 years. "Okay, we won't bother one another. 10,000 Spirit Holy Land is yours and I will continue to lay in my coffin." Ouyang Ran covered the coffin and sunk back down. The soil covered him. Another tomb appeared once more. From the smell of the sand and dirt, one could tell that the tomb was new. Li Xiandao didn't disturb Ouyang Ran anymore. He definitely had secrets, so why did he bury himself inside? But Li Xiandao didn't want to care. He had taken back 10,000 Spirit Holy Land and the contract was cleared. Hong! Li Xiandao walked to the pier and started to fix the Bank of the Universe here in 10,000 Spirit Holy Land. Explosion! The Bank of the Universe drew spiritual energy, causing the area around to explode, forming waves that turned into flames, surging all around. Different from the planes, at this moment, the Bank of the Universe was set in the 10,000 Spirit Holy Land space. Li Xiandao wasn't planning on moving in a short time. Before he unlocked the fifth mountain, Li Xiandao wouldn't move the Bank of the Universe. So the first thing he did after setting the Bank of the Universe here was repair the seals. Li Xiandao felt that 10,000 Spirit Holy Lands formations were too weak and old. Now, he understood that it was because no one repaired them in 30,000 years. At this moment, Li Xiandao turned into a seal god and started to repair the huge formation. Where there was something not quite right, he fixed it up. Where there was something not suitable, he fixed it up. Where there was something wrong, he fixed it up. Where there were lacking areas, he added things. Li Xiandao used his strong knowledge to strengthen this formation. Some old, broken, or not suitable seals were changed by Li Xiandao. After a day and night of hard work, Li Xiandao had actually changed and improved the formation from start to finish. It was terrifyingly strong now. Even Grotto Heaven realm people could forget about entering. As for those above Grotto Heaven, they would have to spend much effort. They could protect 10,000 Spirit Holy Land and it wasn't as defenseless as before. Li Xiandao looked at the formation that he personally made and nodded his head in satisfaction. Now, this is more like it. He entered 10,000 Spirit Holy Land and stepped into the Bank of the Universe. He found 7, we can start our business in Cold Moon Sky. I still want to unlock the 5th mountain peak. Chapter 292, Husband, drink the medicine. Li Xiandao obtained 100 red watches after unlocking the 4th mountain peak. He didn't toss it out over in the 10 lands and continued to keep it. The reason was that he could receive new guests after entering the 9 lands. He wanted to develop and continue strengthening the Bank of the Universe. Now that he was in Cold Moon Sky, the Bank of the Universe finally had a foothold to start expanding. Li Xiandao felt that it was time to toss these 100 watches out. 7 nodded, now is a good time to toss the watches out. 7 released them all to find suitable owners to bring over to the Bank of the Universe. Li Xiandao suddenly thought about something and asked, what is the price to unlock the 5th mountain peak? Li Xiandao felt that he had to unlock this 5th mountain peak, otherwise, the Bank of the Universe wouldn't be able to cross worlds. The moment they wanted to leave Cold Moon Sky and enter other worlds, it would be quite a problem. Li Xiandao didn't want to cross worlds again. When he unlocked the 5th mountain, the Bank of the Universe could go wherever it wanted. Wouldn't it be fantastic to be free? 7 said, we need 10,000 spiritual energy dragon veins to unlock the 5th mountain peak and they all have to be of top quality. Li Xiandao frowned. 10,000 top quality spiritual energy dragon veins, this was quite a large price to pay. No wonder 7 said that Li Xiandao would not be able to unlock the 5th mountain peak no matter what. Li Xiandao hadn't even seen a single one in the 10 lands. A spiritual energy dragon vein required large mountains of spiritual energy to form. The constant spiritual energy had to be condensed for years and only after it formed and gave birth to its own consciousness would the spiritual energy turn into something like a dragon. This was just the start. The spiritual energy dragon vein could continue to grow, from 1 meter to 10 to 100 to 1000 and then 10,000. A 10,000 meter spiritual energy dragon vein was of top quality. Li Xiandao needed to collect 10,000 of them to unlock the 5th mountain peak. Li Xiandao's expression instantly became ugly. This seemed really tough. No, this was just really difficult. In Cold Moon Sky, even if spiritual energy was thick, it wasn't easy to gather 10,000 of them. You still have a lot of time. There is no need to rush. 7 consoled Li Xiandao. Li Xiandao could only think that way and slowly accumulate to be able to finally unlock the last mountain peak. It seemed like it wouldn't be easy to let the Bank of the Universe cross worlds as it wishes. Li Xiandao was deep in thought. 7 smiled and didn't say anything. 7 tossed out 100 red watches and they flew all around the world. Then, the Bank of the Universe was in total silence. Everyone including Li Xiandao was working hard. He might have just broken through to stage 10 but this realm wasn't even worth mentioning in Cold Moon Sky. Li Xiandao still needed to improve himself. His 10 grotto heavens included the 10 lands, 10 huge worlds. This was unprecedented. Li Xiandao had to slowly study it if he wanted to totally utilize the power of the 10 grotto heavens. This was why the Bank of the Universe was in momentary silence. In Cold Moon Sky, time continued to pass as usual. It didn't change at all because of the Bank of the Universe and Li Xiandao's arrival. The Emperor aristocratic family Qin family and Qing family were searching for traces of Li Xiandao and Moon Angel but they weren't able to find anything. Even divination techniques were a blur and weren't able to detect anything. The Qin and Qing families could only search slowly. The Qin family head was filled with rage and he had nowhere to vent it. Qingling was forgotten and he just continued to comprehend the technique left by Saint Zhuang over at the Qing family home. He didn't want to cause trouble but his wife caused trouble for him. This was because Qingling didn't like the wife that was allocated to him and he didn't even touch her. His wife wasn't of good character and couldn't bear being alone. Along with how the teens in the family were all handsome, she was able to flirt with them and cheat on Qingling with them. Qingling knew about his wife which was why he didn't care and just ignored her. But Qingyun didn't plan on letting Qingling off. When Qing Ling was strong he was really arrogant and he wasn't interested in Qing Yun's talent. He rejected her plea and didn't help her quash people around. From then on, Qing Yun started to become jealous of and hate Qing Ling. But in the past, Qing Ling's cultivation was really high. He was one of the Qing family 10 tigers while Qing Yun was just an ordinary disciple. They weren't on the same level and Qing Yun didn't even have a chance to take revenge. But now that Qing Ling was in trouble, and he had fallen from the clouds into the mud, Qing Yun started to have ideas. He flirted with the wife that the family gave Qing Ling, and after a few exchanges, Qing Yun said coldly, "It isn't right to do this in the dark. If people find out, your reputation will be ruined." So, Qing Ling's wife's heart was all on Qing Yun's body as she asked. "Qing Ling has to die. Only when he dies will you be free. Although you will become a widow, I will still marry you. When the time comes, we can continue like this." Qing Yun tempted her. "But how can we make Qing Ling die? The family will pick up normal methods." Qing Ling's wife was worried. She wasn't worried about whether Qing Ling died. Rather, she was worried about whether the family would notice if he died. "It is okay. There is a blood-melting pill here. Dissolve it in medicine and let Qing Ling drink it. This medicine is tasteless and once used, Qing Ling's blood will dry up. The family won't be able to find anything. Anyway, Qing Ling is rubbish, so the family won't care." Qing Yun continued to bluff her. "Okay, I will feed it to her." Qing Ling's wife's eyes lit up and she agreed right away. She believed that her lover wouldn't cheat her. In Qing Ling's small courtyard, there was an old, broken tree. But Qing Ling was really happy here. At least no one would disturb him and he could spend time comprehending the techniques. But today, his wife came with a bowl of medicine. "Come husband, drink the medicine." The beautiful wife walked over with a smile carrying a bowl with brewed herbs. Qing Ling looked on coldly without saying a word. "Husband, I personally brewed this to heal your injuries. I know you don't like me but we are together. If you get better, then we can spend our lives well in the future." This wife consoled. Qing Ling looked at the medicine and said, "Have you not read history books?" The wife was stunned. In some historical records, a husband known as Wu Dalan was poisoned by his wife. "You are feeding me because you want to poison me so you can run off with your lover." Qing Ling smiled coldly and said. Chapter 293, First Guest. Qing Ling's words made his wife panic. She stammered, "What are you saying? I don't know anything." Qing Ling laughed coldly and said, "Since you don't know, then why are you so afraid? I was being nice and brewing herbs to treat you and you actually maligned me for wanting to hurt you. I am your wife." She teared up as she spoke. But Qing Ling was cold and cruel. He wasn't even tempted when he looked at girls like Moon Angel, much less someone who wanted to hurt him. "Go down. I can see through all your tricks with one eye. This is the first and last time." Qing Ling warned coldly. Even if his cultivation was destroyed, his one stare was filled with aggressiveness. His wife shuddered. She swallowed her tears and left with a wronged expression. Qing Ling watched as she left and said, "Someone must be the mastermind and wants to poison me. It seems like even when I am now useless, those petty people really can't afford to let me live." After Qing Ling's cultivation was trashed, he had seen through human life and faced the world with a calm attitude. Plots and traps that he had suppressed, people who wanted to pull him to their side, and those who he hurt were all staring at him angrily and wanted to take revenge. A place filled with snakes and rats. How does one gain a foothold in a place filled with rubbish? Qing Ling sighed but there was no way he could flee now. He could only silently accept it. "Wait a while more." Qing Ling sighed. Wang wang. In the next second, a red watch appeared in front of Qing Ling. Qing Ling was stunned. What was that? The Bank of the Universe, it can fulfill all your wishes. Smash the watch and enter the Bank of the Universe. The information from the watch caused Qing Ling to stare. He clenched his fists emotionally. Amazing. Qing Ling saw many history books, legends, and records. He was really familiar with such things. Without a question, he had obtained a lucky break. Will I meet a god? Qing Ling felt that since the Bank of the Universe's watch appeared out of nowhere, then the Bank of the Universe's master must have been a true expert. He definitely wouldn't think that this expert was the masked guy who had shattered his confidence. Kaka. Qing Ling didn't hesitate. He had nothing to lose and nothing to fear. Even if this watch was a trap, he was still going to jump into it. The moment he shattered the watch, a ball of red gas seeped out from the surface of the watch and covered Qingling. It turned his eyes red and he was sent into a blurry world. In the endless space, there was a giant palace that seemed really mysterious and strong. With one look, one felt an overwhelming sense of respect toward it. In front of the palace stood one male and one female. The female was like a fairy, so noble that no one would dare to offend her. The guy wore a mask and stood with his arms behind his back. He looked on coldly. It's him. Qingling was shocked. He opened his eyes wide and wanted to look more closely at Li Xiandao. Hong! But in the next second, he fell into a hall. Welcome, guest, to the Bank of the Universe. Li Xiandao looked at Qingling and welcomed him. He didn't expect Qingling to be his first guest after he entered Cold Moon Sky. The guy who he had let live. Moreover, looking at him now, he wasn't doing really well and even his cultivation had been trashed. It's you. You are the master of the bank. Qingling looked at Li Xiandao in disbelief. Sit down. We can talk about it slowly. Li Xiandao said calmly. Qingling started to take deep breaths to calm himself down. He then sat opposite Li Xiandao. I remember that when I let you live you were at stage 9 Grotto Heaven Realm. Li Xiandao looked at Qingling in confusion. Qingling recalled that and smiled helplessly. If you chose to kill me I would have been even more thankful. Li Xiandao looked at Qingling and wanted to listen to his story. Qingling slowly described his experience. A series of 3 difficult encounters. There was a very low chance of surviving. Li Xiandao felt bad for him. His cultivation was destroyed and he had been abandoned. His friends and family left him alone and the wife who the family gave him had cheated on him and even wanted to poison him. He was a very unlucky person. Li Xiandao evaluated Qingling like that. But your luck has changed. I was able to enter Cold Moon Sky thanks to your world coordinates, so tell me what you need and I will consider. Li Xiandao asked. I need time. Qingling was firm. You need time. Li Xiandao looked at him in shock. He thought that Qingling would beg the Bank of the Universe to heal his injuries, but who would have known that the only thing he wanted was time? Why do you want time? Li Xiandao asked curiously. So I can turn into a butterfly. Qingling was confident. I have obtained Saint Zhuangzhou's technique, using my body as a furnace to craft a new body, a perfect body. This technique is butterfly transformation. Qingling spoke the truth. I can give you time. Is 100 years enough? Li Xiandao asked. That should be enough. Qingling looked at Li Xiandao emotionally. But what can you give me? Li Xiandao asked. Qingling was stunned and he shook his head. I have nothing on me. I have nothing to trade with. Since we know each other, I shall make an exception and I will reward you in advance before payment. Li Xiandao told Seven to prepare the contract. After all, I am responsible a little for your situation. Li Xiandao said calmly. Qingling shook his head, this is my destiny. I can't blame anyone. Li Xiandao didn't bother and he said calmly, I will give you 100 years which will be burned in an instant and you will be able to go through the butterfly transformation process. Qingling listened silently. This was the benefit he would obtain but he would also pay a certain price. After you transform, you will improve much more. You will need to collect spiritual energy dragon veins for me, 10,000 top grade ones. Li Xiandao said very simply. Qingling's pupils constricted and he looked at Li Xiandao in disbelief. 10,000 spiritual energy dragon veins. All of these were top grade too. This. Qingling's breathing hastened and he was carefully considering the matter deep down. He suddenly raised his head, deal. No matter what, he had to turn into a butterfly. If he didn't, he would be harmed. Poison wasn't too big of a deal. After all, there were many more cruel methods. Qingling believed that those people in Qing family could do it. The 10,000 spiritual energy dragon veins were hard to find but he believed that he would be able to once he turned into a butterfly. Li Xiandao was satisfied, I admire you now. You are quite decisive. Sign the contract. Li Xiandao passed the prepared contract to Qingling and lightly placed down a pen lightly. Once signed, the price to pay for breaking the contract is huge and you won't be able to take it. Li Xiandao said. Qingling smiled and signed his name without hesitation. Chapter 294, Qingling Post-Transformation. Li Xiandao brought Qingling to the time hall. Hong! The door of the time hall was pushed open. Li Xiandao pointed inside and said, "Go in and make use of your 100 years. Take this chance and don't mess up." Qingling said firmly, "This is my only chance, so how can I miss it?" He stepped into the time hall, and along with the door closing, numerous bright lights shone in the time hall. Time was accelerated. Li Xiandao adjusted the time inside to 100 years while it was just 1 minute outside. The time wasted was Li Xiandao's own lifespan. He stepped out of the time hall and looked at the majestic and beautiful mountains. 1 minute quickly passed. Li Xiandao watched as a creature inside a cocoon tried its hardest to break free from a tree. A butterfly slowly transformed, spreading its beautiful wings and flying high into the air. Li Xiandao suddenly twisted his head and looked towards the time hall. A person walked out. Qingling. He was totally different now. 100 years had passed and it didn't seem like he had changed. But looking more closely, one could notice that everything had changed. His old body was like a prison, preventing him from improving. Now, he had broken out of it and emerged as a butterfly. A minute here was a 100 years in the time hall. Qingling turned 120 in an instant. Time flowed and it made him more stable. With one step, energy surged into Qingling's body and into his danshan. His cultivation had totally changed. He broke through to stage 10 Grotto Heaven Realm and entered the next level. But Qingling realized that he still couldn't see through Li Xiandao. Even if Li Xiandao's cultivation was stage 10 Grotto Heaven, he still felt like he was no match for Li Xiandao. It was as if one fist from Li Xiandao would cause his body to collapse. "It seems like your butterfly transformation is a real success," Li Xiandao said simply. "Yes, it was simple. Thanks to this calamity, I have learned a lot. If it was me before, I definitely wouldn't have reached this realm. But now, I have gone through the dirt and paced along the line of life and death. I have comprehended a lot." Qingling was really emotional. "Since you have transformed, then remember our agreement," Li Xiandao said calmly. "I remember it. I will never dare to forget. I will use my entire life to get 10,000 top-quality spiritual energy dragon veins." Qingling was certain. "Very good, I will assign you a mount. It is time for it to look at the world." Li Xiandao reached out and summoned Mr. Mule. Mr. Mule was cultivating and when Li Xiandao's voice spread to him, he immediately galloped over like lightning. "Master, you are looking for me." Mr. Mule rushed over and asked respectfully. Li Xiandao didn't reply to him. He just introduced Qingling, "This is my subordinate. He has great talent and the ability to find treasures. He will be very helpful in finding spiritual energy dragon veins." Qingling looked at Mr. Mule in shock. This was a monster whose cultivation reached stage 9 Grotto Heaven. Mr. Mule had been cultivating, and after entering Cold Moon Sky, his cultivation soared. "I am thankful." Qingling agreed. Li Xiandao looked at Mr. Mule and said, "From now onward, you and Qingling will fight shoulder to shoulder. Complete the mission that I give to both of you." Mr. Mule agreed without hesitation, raising one hoof and saying, "Don't worry master, I will work with this brother to help find the spiritual energy dragon veins." Li Xiandao was satisfied, "You can leave now." Qingling and Mr. Mule disappeared from the bank of the universe. Li Xiandao watched as they left and muttered, "You don't have to find all 10,000 quickly. Just find 1,000. Li Xiandao's short time was within 3 years. This was because 10,000 top-grade spiritual energy dragon veins were just too hard to find and Li Xiandao was ready to fight a battle of attrition. Qingling was ready. Li Xiandao would make arrangements too as he didn't place all his hopes on Qingling. Qing Family Manor. In the old and broken courtyard, Qingling and Mr. Mule appeared. Mr. Mule was strong and muscular. His fur was thick and black like metal. He was able to speak the human language. "Brother, your life is too trashy." Qingling sat down and said helplessly, "It was bad last time but it is much better now." Mr. Mule sat down on the stone chair like Qingling. The courtyard didn't have proper chairs, just 4 stone stools. But it was suitable for Mr. Mule. He sat down like a human, 2 hooves in front of his chest as he said, "Brother, how many spiritual energy dragon veins did Master tell you to find?" 10,000 top-quality spiritual energy dragon veins. Qingling said. "Master is just so dark." Mr. Mule muttered in his heart. The 8 monsters spent so long here and knew that the spiritual energy dragon veins were tough to find. let alone top-grade spiritual energy dragon veins. How many men does your master have? Qingling suddenly asked. Why do you ask? Mr. Mule looked at Qingling warily. Why is he asking that? I met a moon angel who was also your master's subordinate. Now, I've also met you, so I just wanted to ask. Qingling explained. Moon angel, she is master's most beautiful woman, but she is not as beautiful as Seven. Mr. Mule said. Qingling thought about Seven and nodded, that's true. Moon angel was a typical mature lady. Her body was devilish and really alluring. But Seven wasn't bad either. Her body was good and she was even more beautiful. The key was that Seven's smile was really attractive. Seven's smile was like a blooming flower. One look and you would be relaxed, filled with shock, and mesmerized by beauty. My master has many experts and I am very weak. My other brothers are much stronger than me. Mr. Mule said. Qingling looked at the master of the Bank of the Universe. He did have many experts under him. Then, who is the strongest? Qingling asked curiously. I am not sure. It might be the guy with the bald head, or that old priest, or that kid with the overlord blade. Also, my big brother Demon Frog is amazing. There are so many experts that I've lost count. Mr. Mule was a little troubled. Qingling slightly understood Li Xiandao's experts. He wanted to continue talking to Mr. Mule but in the next second, the door to his courtyard was kicked open. Hong! The door shattered into dozens of pieces that scattered on the floor. Qingling's face turned cold and he stared at the person who came. Mr. Mule grinned, is he here to fight? Qingling, you trash! Scram! An arrogant voice rang out from outside. I will be back right away. Qingling took in a deep breath and said towards Mr. Mule before strolling out. Chapter 295, Robbing his own home. Qingling came out of the courtyard, walked over to Qingyun, and slapped her. Pa! Qingyun stumbled backward and stared at Qingling in rage, you actually dare to hit me. Pa! Another slap landed on Qingyun's other cheek, causing it to swell up. Your cultivation has recovered. Qingyun was shocked. He wasn't ready the first time but the second time only happened because Qingling's cultivation had recovered. Pa! Another slap caused Qingyun to stumble to the floor. His nose was swollen and blood spurted out. Don't kill me. Qingyun was afraid. Now that Qingling's cultivation had recovered, there was nothing he could do at all. He was just in legend, so how could he be Qingling's match? Die! Qingling said his first word. One word was so simple and direct. Kaka! He grabbed Qingyun's head cleanly and twisted it. Like cotton, his neck was twisted together. Qingyun died. Qingling was just so clean. He didn't speak any nonsense and just killed the small minion. Mr. Mule walked over and when he saw that, he asked curiously, is it okay for you to kill people here? It's very dangerous. Once they notice that my cultivation has recovered, they will destroy it once more. Qingling nodded and said. Then, what? Mr. Mule suggested, why don't we just flee now? Qingling's aura exploded and gathered in his arm. He punched. Hong! This strike hit Qingyun's body and turned his corpse to dust. I recalled something. Qingling flicked his hands. He didn't care about Qingyun's death at all and was talking about something else. What? Mr. Mule asked. The Qing family is an emperor aristocratic family and should have many spiritual energy dragon veins. Qingling gave a devilish smile and said. He was prepared to become a traitor, to draw the line with the Qing family. At the same time, he was going to rob the Qing family clean. There should be many people guarding the emperor aristocratic family's treasure, right? Mr. Mule's eyes lit up but then he said in worry. That's okay because no one dares to do anything to an emperor aristocratic family, they are too careless, or rather, too confident. Moreover, aren't I a mole? Qingling analyzed it calmly. Mr. Mule raised a hoof and praised, you are planning to betray them. The moment they destroyed me, I had nothing to do with them anymore. Let's go. We are going to rob their treasury. Qingling said decisively. We are going now without a plan. Mr. Mule was shocked. There is no need for a plan. No one will be wary of me. My cultivation was destroyed and everyone knows about it. No one will expect that I've transformed. Qingling said while walking. Mr. Mule followed Qingling and they moved about the internal areas of the Qing family. As expected, no one bothered to look at Qingling and no one talked to him. Even if he had a mule, he didn't attract much attention. The reason was that Mr. Mule knew how to act, allowing Qingling to ride him and slowly strolling around the Qing family. Located on a mountain, the Qing family's village was huge and there were many direct disciples. The entire village had 2,000 people and they were all direct members of the family. No one stopped him and even bothered to talk to him. If they walked over, they would notice that Mr. Mule wasn't ordinary. His hair was too thick and he had monster energy hidden beneath the surface. Close up, one would definitely notice. But unfortunately, even if Mr. Mule walked right past them, they wouldn't even take another look. This was because Mr. Mule had a piece of trash on it. When Qingling saw this, he laughed coldly. These people would pay a price for their coldness. Very quickly, they reached the Qing family's treasure-hiding mountain. They hid in a corner and Qingling said softly, "This mountain is dug out and in it are the treasures that the Qing family accumulated over the years. Apart from daily use and rewarding disciples, many good things are kept there." Mr. Mule was excited, "I can sense it. There are so many treasures. Every vein in my body is throbbing. But the problem is that we can't enter," Qingling said regretfully. Two old men were guarding the door. They were strong and Qingling wasn't confident in going around them. If they couldn't enter, then talking about the treasures inside was useless. "You can't but I can," Mr. Mule said proudly. "You can enter." Qingling looked at Mr. Mule in surprise and he laid on his back. "Right. Master said I would find treasures but I will also enter treasured lands. In my cultivation journey, I have never lacked treasures due to this ability. Hang on tight," Mr. Mule said proudly. For him to turn from an ordinary mule to this monster, he relied on this ability. He would find treasure, enter the area, and steal it. Qingling hugged Mr. Mule's neck emotionally and rested on him. Wang wang. Mr. Mule's body shook and suddenly disappeared. At that moment, the two old men who were protecting the door frowned and looked at one another. "Did you see something?" "I didn't. There was an energy fluctuation. Did someone come here even under the layers of supervision? That doesn't make sense. Outsiders can't do that. Then, everything should be fine." The two old men closed their eyes once more and quietly cultivated. The two of them were right. Outsiders couldn't enter this place as it was tightly guarded. But what if the person was from the Qing family? A thief in your own house was the hardest to defend. Qingling and Mr. Mule entered the Qing family treasury really easily. Thick spiritual energy entered their eyes. Hundreds of majestic true dragon illusions appeared. Spiritual energy dragon veins. 500 of them. Qingling and Mr. Mule became really excited. "Quickly collect them. Master needs them." Mr. Mule was really emotional. He started to collect the spiritual energy dragon veins. Each spiritual energy dragon vein here was 10,000 meters long. They occupied a large portion of the mountain range and were extremely huge. Qingling and Mr. Mule quickly collected them and placed them into their space treasure. 500 of them. He found 500 right away. It seemed like finding 10,000 wasn't too difficult. These spiritual energy dragon veins had been collected by the Qing family long ago and had all been tamed. They were able to keep them all easily. What made Qingling emotional was that he saw the quasi-celestial artifact armor he wore before. "Take it. I need defensive strength." Qingling didn't hesitate and picked it up to wear. Chapter 296, Pervert. Qingling took the quasi-celestial artifact defense suit and put it on. His aura changed instantly. "You belonged to me before, but now, you are mine forever," Qingling said firmly. Mr. Mule continued to collect the other treasures. A large portion of the mountain was covered in spiritual energy dragon veins. There were 500 of them. These were the foundations of an emperor aristocratic family and they were leaving it for emergency situations. But now that they swept them clear, Mr. Mule and Qingling didn't plan on letting the other items go. Various treasures, various items, all sorts of artifacts. No matter whether they were useful, they would all be taken. In a short 10 minutes, the two of them cleared the entire mountain. Qingling held a halberd that was even stronger than his old one. This was an ancient artifact whose strength was not that of a quasi-celestial artifact, but if he used its strength, he could sweep everything. This was an emperor artifact. Qing family produced 2 emperors and this was the artifact that one of them used. It had been kept here to be given to the most amazing person in this generation. But who knew that Qingling would take it first? He wore the quasi-celestial artifact that shone coldly and had shocking defense. The Emperor artifact was in his hands and it was shockingly strong. Along with Qingling's new strength post-butterfly transformation, he had really risen up. From the Qing family 10 tigers to his cultivation being destroyed, and now that he had transformed and had weapons on him, all of these added together pushed Qingling to his peak. It seems like I can clash head-on with the head of the 10 tigers. Qingling squinted and thought about it. Mr. Mule had swallowed many treasures. He also noticed numerous black ball-like things in the mountain. What is this? Mr. Mule asked Qingling. Qingling walked over and took a look. This thing was stuck in the cracks, and if one didn't look closely at it, one wouldn't have noticed. This is Thunder God Pearl. Hidden within is the thunder of the 9 skies. Each pearl is really strong. Qingling said. It is strong. Mr. Mule tilted his head. You want to bring it away? No, I am about to leave the Qing family. The Qing family has treated me kindly, but I also do have some hatred towards them. So, before I leave, I am going to blow this place up. Qingling said. Blow this place up? Mr. Mule was shocked. Right, blow this place up. Qingling nodded his head firmly. Okay then, let's do something huge. Mr. Mule became really excited. He shifted the thunder pearl and laid them out all around. Qingling was doing the same. 100 of them were placed all around the mountain, covering every area of space. Come. I have already lit it up, and in just a minute, it would explode. When the time comes, many people will reach here. We have to head out in advance. Qingling hugged Mr. Mule and said loudly. Mr. Mule knew that things were urgent. He didn't dare to waste time and disappeared from the mountain. Mr. Mule and Qingling left without even turning back. The 2 old men opened their eyes together and looked at each other. They could see the confusion and shock in each of their eyes. The ripples appeared once more. They came from the treasury. This time we both sensed it. It seemed like someone has entered. Go take a look. Don't let people steal things from the mountain. You are thinking too much. The person who can steal treasures from under our noses hasn't even been born yet. Both of them worked together to open the entrance. What they saw were many purple lightning god pearls. There was nothing else. The 2 of them were stunned and their breathing stopped. Stolen. This thief is just too clean. The 2 old men felt like their hearts were about to stop for the first time. This treasury was even cleaner than their pants now. In the next second, their expressions changed. They looked at the treasury in disbelief. Hong! The pearl exploded. Not 1. But 100 at the same time. The power produced flung the 2 old men away and they spat out mouthfuls of blood. The entire mountain collapsed from the impact. Explosion! The ground and mountains shook, scaring numerous people. They looked at the treasury and rushed over. What happened? I don't know. It seems like something happened with the treasury. Quick, take a look. Seal the area around. If there are outsiders, take them down right away. Many people headed to the treasury. But out of this group, 1 person was opposite them. Qingling was on Mr. Mule's back. Opposite the rest, he was walking outwards. At this crucial moment, no one cared about a piece of trash. Everyone would have just treated it as this trash being afraid. No one would have thought that Qingling could rise up once more. We are playing with your Qing family. Mr. Mule was delighted. I'm not part of the Qing family. Qingling said expressionlessly. Are you going to change your name? Mr. Mule galloped quickly. He continued to talk to Qingling. No need. This name has followed me for half my life, and no matter what, no one can change my experiences. I will also not get used to another name. Qingling rejected the notion. Okay, it is your choice. Sit still. I am about to bring you through space. Mr. Mule brought Qingling to an empty spot and started to draw the space-crossing seal. He didn't dare to draw it in a place with a lot of people. Moon Angel needed 5 seconds to draw it and Mr. Mule, who was not as familiar, needed 30. 30 seconds. He drew really seriously while Qingling frowned and stared at the treasury. The more time passed, the faster they would react. The thief is in our village. Seal the area and open the formation. Don't let a rat head out. A furious roar resounded throughout the area. Explosion. At the same time, Qing family's seals started to open up. Quickly, if the seals lock this place down, we won't be able to head out. Qingling said anxiously. Don't worry. Relax, I am done. Mr. Mule was finally finished. He heaved a sigh of relief and stepped up. Hug me and I will fly up into the sky. Mr. Mule was delighted. He wasn't worried about exposing himself. His monster energy shook and instantly disappeared. It's Qingling and the mule, someone looked on in shock as they disappeared. But it was too late. Mr. Mule brought Qingling to travel through space away from the Qing family village. In the next second, they landed in a pond. Putong! One man and one mule landed in the clear pond water, which caused a huge ripple. At the same time, there was a scream. Pervert! No, it's a perverted mule! A girl screamed. Dozens of girls ran up to shore and surrounded Qingling and Mr. Mule. Chapter 297, Golden Family. Mr. Mule and Qingling were surrounded by a dozen girls whose cultivations were decent. Most of them were all Legend Realm and they stared at them aggressively. Where did you come from? You even dare to peek at my Gold Family girls bathing. A young girl flew out. Her body was wrapped in golden light as she stared coldly at Qingling and Mr. Mule. Gold Family, that is one of the big monster races. Qingling was shocked. He had just escaped from the Qing family and who knew that in just the blink of an eye he would offend the Gold Family? Is this Gold Family strong? Mr. Mule asked, his hooves continuing to tread water. Very amazing, even more amazing than the Qing family. Why did you teleport us here? Qingling asked, gritting his teeth. Mr. Mule coughed, I am not familiar with the technique. Qingling stared at him and then cupped his fists. Fellow Gold Family members, that was not our intention. We were just teleporting and headed to the wrong location. We fell into this pond without knowing anything. The Gold Family girl laughed coldly. Do you think I will believe that explanation? Qingling looked on helplessly. There was no way he would argue himself out of this situation. It was impossible to explain. Qingling transmitted his voice to Mr. Mule, carve another seal. I will delay them. Mr. Mule nodded and started to slowly carve underwater. He knew that he was the one who had caused trouble. People were bathing and both of them had just landed in the water causing the naked girls to run to shore. Qingling raised his hands and stood on the water. I am from the Qing family. I have no need to lie to you. This really is just a misunderstanding. The Gold Family girl's expression changed and she asked, You are from the Emperor aristocratic family Qing family. What is your name? The girl continued to ask. Qing Yao. Qingling said this name without hesitation. Her eyes flashed as she stared at him. As the first of the 10 tigers, he is said to be able to battle the older generations and win many top talents. He is considered the third emperor choice in the Qing family, Qing Yao. Qingling nodded and said loudly, That is me. Today, I, Qing Yao, saw your naked bodies. Qingling didn't explain. Anyway, Mr. Mule was laying another seal, so he had no need to explain. Qing Yao was the one who was going to take this blame. The girl laughed coldly, You didn't want to admit it just now, so why admit to it now? I always admit to what I do. Since all of you have noticed, then I will just admit it. Qingling said. You sound so righteous, so how are you planning to compensate us for our purity? The girl asked coldly. Qingling frowned, What is your sister's name? The Gold Family girl lifted her head and an expression of pride appeared on her face, Feng Longke. Qingling said in shock, One of the 3 flowers of the Gold Family, Feng Longke. Right, that is me. Feng Longke said as she nodded. I am sorry, I am Qing Yao. Greetings, Sister Longke. Qingling waved respectfully. Who is your sister, you pervert? You have lost face for the Qing family. You have to give my sisters an explanation, otherwise, you are going to die here. Feng Longke said coldly without giving him face at all. Qingling was shocked. This Feng Longke wasn't a kind person. This place was the Gold family's territory and they were outnumbered. He and Mr. Mule would definitely suffer from this. Done. Fortunately, in the next second, Mr. Mule carved the space-crossing seal and said excitedly. Qingling's face was filled with joy, Sister Feng Longke, I will definitely compensate you but I have to leave now. If you want compensation, then come find me. After you do, I will compensate you. Qingling laughed out loud. A 6-star seal appeared underwater which caused Mr. Mule and Qingling to disappear. Feng Longkei's expression changed and she raged, "Damn, you peeked at us bathing and dare to escape. Qing Yao, I will kill you." Although Mr. Mule's teleportation wasn't stable and they had fallen into a farm, fortunately, they didn't face other dangers. Qing Ling climbed up from the farmland and grumbled, "Can you be more accurate? I just need to do it a few more times and then I'll get good at it." Mr. Mule was a little embarrassed. If I wasn't smart and passing the blame to Qing Yao, Feng Longkei would have already gone mad. Qing Ling said in annoyance. "How strong is this gold family?" Mr. Mule asked curiously. "Let me tell you this, their strength is the combination of a phoenix and golden dragon of the monster race. They help and complement each other. The golden dragons broke out of the dragon race and formed their own family while the phoenixes helped to look out for them. If Feng Longkei has gone mad, my current strength won't be enough." Qing Ling said honestly. If Feng Longkei really wanted to kill him, Qing Ling's strength wasn't enough. He could only rely on the Emperor artifact and the quasi-celestial artifact. But now that you've pushed the blame to Qing Yao, we are safe for now. Let's go and search for more treasures. Let's go, there are still 9,500 more spiritual energy dragon veins to find. Qing Ling was pumped up. Together with Mr. Mule, they disappeared into the sky. Within the bank, Li Xiandao was paying attention to the two of them. He didn't care that they offended the gold family. What Li Xiandao was considering was the fact that the Qing family only stored 500 spiritual energy dragon veins as an emperor aristocratic family that produced 2 emperors. If it was another family, wouldn't there even fewer? Maybe, that's just the Qing family. Cold Moon Sky is wide, so there is no need to worry about this. Li Xiandao consoled himself. At least he had acquired 500 spiritual energy dragon veins. If he had no choice, then he would rob the next emperor aristocratic family. 500 from 1, 5,000 from 10, and 10,000 from 20. Of course, that was just a joke. If he really robbed so many, Li Xiandao's subordinates would be hunted down by these families. When the time came, the Bank of the Universe wouldn't be able to hide. Many people would be able to find them through all the traces. Li Xiandao was silently planning to get rich. There is a new guest. Seven's voice suddenly resounded. Chapter 298, New Guest. Li Xiandao was shocked, another guest. He had just scattered the 100 watches out, and now, a second guest had come. This was really quite fast. Seven smiled, maybe, there are many people from Cold Moon Sky who need miracles. Li Xiandao asked, what is this person's name and identity? Li Xiandao put on his mask and changed into different clothes before he walked towards the trading hall. Seven followed Li Xiandao and said, she is Feng Jur and she comes from the Gold family. She has the phoenix blood, but due to an incomplete soul, she is awake for short portions of time. Li Xiandao asked, she is a fool. Most of the time, but when she is awake, she is really quite normal. The only thing is she is often awake for short periods. Seven was filled with regret. So, she looks for the Bank of the Universe when she is awake? Li Xiandao asked. Right, this is a really special guest. Seven nodded. Li Xiandao came to the trading hall and saw Feng Jur. She was a bit fat. Unlike the usual thin teens, she was round. Her small face was ordinary but the areas that shouldn't have been round were very round which made her look bloated. Feng Jur looked warily at Li Xiandao and Seven. She didn't dare to exchange glances with Li Xiandao and instead looked at Seven in envy. Which girl didn't like beauty? Seven's beauty made Feng Jur feel sad. She looked at her own body and felt annoyed. But in the end, she just sighed helplessly. Please sit. Li Xiandao said. Feng Jur pointed at herself in shock. Li Xiandao nodded, you are my guest, so of course, you should sit. Can your Bank of the Universe really alter my destiny? Feng Jur sat down and asked anxiously. Li Xiandao looked at her. His dark pupils under the mask saw right through her. Her cultivation was at human celestial peak. Compared to those of the same age group, she wasn't outstanding. But Li Xiandao found it really unbelievable that she had reached such a realm while spending most of her life in such a state. The Bank of the Universe can change your fate, but what can you pay? Li Xiandao asked. Feng Jur was speechless. I am dumb, I don't have anything. Feng Jur was dejected. Li Xiandao looked at her calmly and asked, do you mind talking about yourself? Feng Jur frowned as she looked at Li Xiandao. She was unwilling to talk about her past. Those were insults. To her, her body was a huge insult. Even half her soul was an insult. She was embarrassed to mention it. Li Xiandao explained, I am not humiliating you. I just want to know about your experiences and find out what thing of value you have to trade with the Bank of the Universe. Feng Zhuo kept silent for a moment and said, I am just a normal kid from the gold family. When I was born, a phoenix flew over and landed on my family's tree. The family felt that this was a good sign and anticipated my birth. But when I was born, both my parents were killed when an enemy attacked. I was taken in by the family and they raised me till I was 6. When I was 6, everyone needed to test their talent and bloodline purity. Out of the few hundred children, my bloodline purity was extremely strong and reached the level of the ancestor. Feng Zhuo was proud when she said that. But she sighed right after. I thought I would fly to the heavens and be heavily focused and nurtured. But at the same time, they found out that my soul was incomplete and a part of my soul was missing. I couldn't accept it and fell into a coma. After I woke up, I was crazy for a year. Feng Zhuo felt pained. The joy and sadness made her mad for 1 year. That was quite cruel for a 6-year-old. After that, I was awake for half a month. Right after everyone thought that I was okay, I went mad for 3 months. After 3 months, I woke for 10 days. Feng Zhuo said calmly. Over these years, I had enough of such a life and tried to change it. I used the time I was awake to cultivate. But I didn't have much time and was only able to reach peak human celestial. Feng Zhuo felt bitter. My craziness tarnished the gold family's reputation, so they suggested chasing me out. But as some people objected, they tied me up and locked me in a damp jail. Occasionally, they would toss food down for me. So, just like that, I turned into this. Feng Zhuo finished her introduction. It was really short but the pain in her story couldn't be comprehended by ordinary people. Feng Zhuo didn't want Li Xiandao to pity her. When she was awake, she knew that there was no so-called pitying in this world. If one didn't go through what she had, one wouldn't be able to understand and pity her. She hoped that Li Xiandao could represent the Bank of the Universe and change her life. She didn't want to continue like this and be raised like a dog. This was why she looked at Li Xiandao in anticipation and asked, Can the Bank of the Universe help me? Li Xiandao was silent for a moment. He was analyzing her experiences and her value. Feng Zhuo saw that Li Xiandao didn't speak and her heart sank. Hope. Gone. Li Xiandao looked at the dejected Feng Zhuo and smiled, Of course, there is a way and since you are here, I can help you. Feng Zhuo's eyes opened wide and she looked at Li Xiandao in surprise. She was like a drowning person grasping a life-saving wooden board, not willing to let go. Can you actually help me? Feng Zhuo's voice was trembling. She was filled with emotions. She hadn't seen the light in decades. Now that she had seen the light, she wasn't even sure whether this was a dream or reality. Of course, the reason why you were like this is because your bloodline was too pure. But your soul was incomplete, so your divinity was unable to control your body. Li Xiandao gave his own explanation. While Feng Zhuo was talking, Li Xiandao was studying her. He shot true qi into her body to check and investigate and confirm that the problem was that her soul was incomplete. In the past, Li Xiandao might have found it hard to solve. But Tian Guangming's goddess of light soul gave Li Xiandao inspiration. Tian Guangming didn't want to merge with that soul, so Li Xiandao still stored it in the treasury. Now, he could use it to merge with Feng Zhuo to complete her soul. I can help you solve your problem and control your body. What about you? What can you give me in exchange for this life-changing opportunity? Li Xiandao pointed at Feng Zhuo and at the table. With a thud, Feng Zhuo raised her head and looked at Li Xiandao with determination. Chapter 299, Smacking Tian Guangming. My loyalty, I swear on the name of the God Phoenix that I will serve you for my entire life. You can decide my life and death. Feng Zhuo stood up and said firmly. She was willing to give up her freedom, her pride, give up everything in exchange for this opportunity. A chance to change her fate. In her eyes, this was her biggest chance. In one's life, one wouldn't have many chances to change their lives. If one didn't take the chance, then it would be gone forever. Li Xiandao looked at Feng Zhuo. Apart from using herself, she didn't have other things to trade. Li Xiandao nodded, I don't believe your God Phoenix. I will only believe in the Bank of the Universe's contract. Sign it and then hand your soul to me. No problem. Feng Zhuo agreed without hesitation. 7 passed the prepared contract over to Li Xiandao. Li Xiandao passed it to Feng Zhuo and said, sign it. From now onward, I will decide your life and death. If you do work for me, you will be peaceful and I will even reward you. Feng Zhuo signed decisively. She looked at Li Xiandao with determination and shouted, Master. Li Xiandao looked at her name on the contract. It was completely different from how a gentle female was. Her words were even more ugly than a guy's. This was because she was really eager. She was looking forwards to Li Xiandao solving her current predicament. Li Xiandao took the contract and passed it to 7, head to the treasury and bring the goddess of light's soul over. 7 nodded and left. Feng Zhuo stared at 7 in envy. Her body was perfect. She would definitely work hard to have such a body. Li Xiandao said calmly, wait. 7 is talking the item over to help you solve your problem. Feng Zhuo nodded her head emotionally and said, I am not anxious. Li Xiandao's lips curled up. Not anxious? Who would believe her? One couldn't even describe her as restless. It was as if there were nails under her butt and they pricked her. But facing Li Xiandao's cold gaze, she had no choice but to sit down. She was extremely anxious. Li Xiandao looked at her but didn't console her at all. Any words would just be useless. Feng Zhuo couldn't listen to any words. The best words in the world couldn't compare to the thing that 7 was carrying over. Da-da-da. Feng Zhuo's eyes were filled with anticipation as 7 carried a jade box over. Feng Zhuo stood up and looked at it emotionally. Her round face was filled with excitement and she was unable to control herself. 7 smiled at her gently and said softly, don't be nervous. Master will treat you. Feng Zhuo nodded her head emotionally and looked on as 7 passed the box to Li Xiandao. Li Xiandao stood up and walked to Feng Zhuo with it. Sit down. Li Xiandao said calmly. Feng Zhuo sat down right away. Her muscles and fat rippled. Li Xiandao's hand spun about her head, close your eyes. Feng Zhuo was well behaved. She closed her eyes but her fists were still clenched. She was excited, worried, and afraid of disappointment. Li Xiandao reached out and injected true qi into Feng Zhuo's mind, knocking her out. Is there a need to? 7 asked. No, Li Xiandao replied. Then. 7 looked at Li Xiandao in confusion. I was afraid that she would be too emotional and disturb me, so I knocked her out. Once she wakes up, everything would be good. Li Xiandao said calmly. 7 was speechless. Li Xiandao took out the goddess of light's soul. This was removed from Tian Guangming's divinity. Tian Guangming didn't want to merge it at all and didn't want to become a girl. This was why Li Xiandao dissected the goddess of light's soul. He thought that he wouldn't use it but it seemed like it was of some use now. The goddess of light's soul woke up and saw Li Xiandao. It yielded right away, I am wrong. Sir, don't lock me up. I am willing to be a slave. The proud goddess of light felt that it was hard to live now. Even an angel sighed. I can give you a chance to merge with this girl. Both of you are incomplete and after merging, you can become a normal person. Li Xiandao said. With me as the main. Her eyes lit up. Li Xiandao giggled, do you think that is possible? No, the goddess of light said right away. She will be the main. If she is willing to let you come out, then you should thank the heavens. Li Xiandao said calmly. With a slap, she shot goddess of light's soul into Feng Zhuo's consciousness. Then, Li Xiandao used the power of the Bank of the Universe to merge both of them. Within Feng Zhuo's consciousness, she stood there alone and looked at the goddess of light. She asked, are you the soul that Master gave me? Goddess of light nodded helplessly, I am here to fix your incomplete soul. You have your own consciousness. Feng Zhuo asked curiously. Right, I have my own consciousness. I want to beg something from you. As long as you agree, then I will willingly merge with you. Goddess of light said solemnly. What thing? Feng Zhuo asked. After we merge and you grow, help me beat someone up. Goddess of light gritted her teeth. Who? Feng Zhuo asked curiously. A shameless, despicable, lowly person. The goddess of light gritted her teeth. She really wanted to chop that person into pieces and burn his body. She hated that person to the bone. Who is it? Feng Zhuo asked helplessly. Tian Guangming. Goddess of light said coldly. Where is he? How did he offend you? Feng Zhuo asked curiously. He is in the Bank of the Universe, and like you, he is the master's subordinate, so I need you to beat him up and not kill him. As for how he offended me, I let him merge with my soul and memory, but he wasn't willing. He occupied my divinity and chased me out, forcing me into the abyss. He really deserves to die. So, do you agree? Goddess of Light said angrily. I agree. As long as I can beat Tian Guangming, then I will beat him up. Feng Zhuo said firmly. Okay, let's merge then. Goddess of Light was decisive. She knew that she had no choice, otherwise, she would be locked up in the void. Who knew when would she get the same opportunity? Explosion. The two of them continued to merge and complete each other's souls. Li Xiandao focused throughout the process. Tian Guangming has a huge enemy this time. Feng Zhuo is a top expert whose bloodline has retraced to the ancestor. He is going to get beaten up. Chapter 300, Robbing Another Treasury. Time passed by slowly. After 2 hours, Feng Zhuo finally merged. She opened her eyes and looked at the clear world. She looked at her body and moved each cell in her body. She was really lively and there was no uncontrollable feeling at all. She had full control of her body. Feng Zhuo was so emotional that she cried. She shouted out loud. She cried and shouted out the years of pain and frustration. Outside the trading hall, Li Xiandao and Seven stood side by side. Seven smiled. Do you feel a sense of achievement hearing such emotional cries? Li Xiandao laughed out loud and said, are you talking about a sense of achievement to a merchant? Seven smiled and asked, what? Can't a merchant have a sense of achievement? Yes, it seems possible. Li Xiandao thought about it and said. To be a scummy merchant but also to want to gain a sense of achievement. At least you saved her, right? Seven said. Right, I saved her. Although she has to serve me in the future, if I hadn't saved her, she would have died from depression. Li Xiandao nodded. Thinking like that made him feel a sense of achievement. While Li Xiandao and Seven were talking, the cries in the hall disappeared. Feng Zhuo wiped her tears away and walked out. She knelt down emotionally in front of Li Xiandao. Thank you, Master, for saving my life. From now onward, I am your most loyal subordinate. Feng Zhuo said firmly. If there was a loyalty level and 100 was full, she was 100. At her most desperate, darkest, and most powerless time, Li Xiandao pulled her out. Even if she had to give up her life for it, so what? When you reached out to someone who was in hell and gave them some light, they would remember that for the rest of their lives. Only when one was surrounded by endless darkness would one walk towards the light. If one gave up to the darkness, one would finally disappear in the darkness. Stand up. Just serve me well in the future. Li Xiandao stood with his arms behind his back and said. Thank you, Master. Feng Zhuo stood up and looked at Li Xiandao with gratitude. You can control your body now and you don't need to always behave so crazily. Therefore, your cultivation should rise swiftly. Li Xiandao said. I have the confidence to break through to Grotto Heaven Realm in a month. Feng Zhuo said. She was only at Human Celestial Peak now and dared to say that she would get past Legend Realm Stage 33, Grotto Heaven Stage 10 and enter the next realm. Li Xiandao even believed her. There was no other reason. The blood in Feng Zhuo's body was too thick. From 6 to 18, in 12 years, her total cultivation time hadn't even reached half a year. Just like that, she reached Human Celestial Realm. Even if Cold Moon Sky's environment was good and had thick spiritual energy, her speed was unheard of. It was because of the bloodline in her body. Phoenix blood. Simply put, she had the direct blood of the primitive phoenix. In the dragon race, there was the ancient dragon race. In the phoenix race, there was also a primitive phoenix. Those were experts that roamed the 9 skies and 10 lands and celestial world. The primitive phoenix race had disappeared from the 9 skies for a long time, which was why its bloodline was long gone. Feng Zhuo was able to have that direct bloodline, so who knew how terrifying she really was? Li Xiandao wasn't teasing Tian Guangming when he said that he was worried about Li Xiandao. He felt really heart-pained for Tian Guangming. Once Feng Zhuo's cultivation increased, he would definitely get beaten up. Since you are so confident, then I shall give you a mission. Li Xiandao said calmly. Please give me your instructions. Feng Zhuo listened on respectfully. After returning to Cold Moon Sky, help me collect top-grade spiritual energy dragon veins. I need 10,000 of them, so collect as many as you can. Li Xiandao instructed. Yes, master. Feng Zhuo memorized the order. Also, I sent a mule and Qing family's Qingling to collect spiritual energy dragon veins. If you meet them, help them. Li Xiandao instructed. Feng Zhuo remembered this and nodded, don't worry, master. I will try my best to complete your mission. Go back. Li Xiandao nodded in satisfaction. With a wave of his sleeves, an invisible power pushed her out from the bank of the universe. 7. Are you interested in another dinner? Li Xiandao invited 7. 7 suddenly recalled something and smiled, fried rice again. Li Xiandao laughed out loud and took off his mask, I personally make that fried rice, so will Miss 7 give me face. 7 smiled widely, since you are working hard, I will make do. Gold family territory, Gold Mountain Range. Feng Zhuo returned to her own land. In a small cave that was a few dozen meters deep, when one raised their head, one could see a small part of the sky. The cave was really damp and the soil was mixed with water. To the side, there was only a small bed. Feng Zhuo had been locked here for 3 years. 3 years ago, there were people from the family who wanted to kill her to prevent her from ruining their reputation. Someone wanted to chase her away while some wanted to extract her blood. In the end, the chief gave an order to lock her here and didn't allow her to head out. Without seeing her, no one felt annoyed. As no one met her, no one would pity or be angry with her. In the end, everyone forgot about her. Occasionally, 1 or 2 would remember and toss her some food. Everyone treated her like an animal. Feng Zhuo looked at everything and laughed mockingly. She didn't blame the Gold family members as this was quite normal. In this world, there were people who were kind and people who were evil. The only thing was that she didn't meet any kind people. Similarly, she had no feelings for the Gold family. If she stayed in such a cave and had feelings for them, then she would be sick in the head. I remember that Gold family has many spiritual energy dragon veins, right? Her eyes suddenly lit up. She was prepared to help steal it before leaving the Gold family. Similar to Qingling, she was someone who wasn't respected in her family. Even if she went out now, no one would notice. They would just treat it as her being perfectly fine for now, and a while later, she would lose control of herself again. This was why she copied Qingling, walked to their treasury and used her bloodline thickness to open it up. Rob it all. No one was guarding the treasury at all as they used bloodline thickness to open it. Without a certain thickness, one couldn't open it at all. Feng Zhuo opened the doors that normally required 7 elders to work together to open. She walked in easily and took everything away. She helped Li Xiandao get 1,000 top-grade spiritual energy dragon veins. Li Xiandao and 7 were eating dinner. When he heard the news, he happily sat closer to 7.